I'm Billy Bobsack, and I am joined by the Lord Otter,
Squeak, squeak.
Frederick
I'm a
Dumont,
spooky otter.
Bonjour.
and Tinkage.
What's up, everybody?
We are doing another art chill stream. Except this time, we also, some of us watched the Blob. I didn't get my copy, so.
What?
Oh, come on, Billy.
You, the organizer of this whole thing, did not watch the movie.
Revolt.
I watched clips. Yeah.
All right. So, guys, this means we all invent shit tonight. We just make scenes up, and he won't.
We
know.
should just mix the 58 and the 88 film, so he doesn't
What
know
was your favorite part of the Blob?
It's when Isom.
You know
sits
what?
on the
My
couch.
favorite part of the Blob was when the dude like, "Don't go in there." It's the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Also, we don't have the budget for it. Do not go in the theater.
yeah. Like the entire movie, he just denies the existence of the monster at all, and then suddenly he knows everything about it after he peeks into the movie theater, right?
Yes. that was. I forgot to get the copy I had.
You know, the funny thing about that movie is it feels like a really long Twilight Zone episode. You know,
It does actually. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
My big thing that I'll bring up that I've got a few gripes with this movie, but yeah, overall, like for what I really enjoyed with the movie, it feels like a very long Twilight Zone episode. Basically, if you jam 2 episodes of the Twilight Zone together, you get the Blob.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, first Steve McQueen film, if I'm not mistaken. It's the first movie he did. So, any Steve McQueen fans out there?
Yeah, like a lot of actors, he has his start in a horror movie, a
Yeah,
small budget B movie. I love the experience. I don't know if I could say that the film is any good or anything, but it's such a clash to watch a film from the 50s.
yeah.
What movie was it that was Stephen King just slapped the living shit out of that one chick?
I can't remember. Oh,
there
Like
was
Stephen
a movie
King himself?
every movie.
Yeah, every movie. Well, there's one specifically. I mean, like I think he genuinely fucking hit the chick in the face.
Was it like Creep Show or something?
No. It was
Might have been
movie.
Creep Show. No.
It wasn't even a horror movie. It was something else.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Stephen King not in a horror movie?
Get out of here.
Was he doing a cameo?
You're saying Steve McQueen, not Stephen King.
Oh, I said Stephen King.
So
Yeah, we're talking about Steve McQueen.
I thought we were talking about. You said Stephen King.
You said Stephen King.
I didn't say Stephen King.
Yes, you did.
Rewind.
Rewind. It's all live now.
Be kind, rewind.
You have no.
Lucky there's no chat yet.
Listen, there's no proof.
Yeah, right.
No.
You're editing.
So
stop the stream. Take it offline.
I guess let's. Why don't we talk about what we liked about the movie first? What did everybody like about it?
The colors.
I like that it was 4 minutes long.
Your clip, nice. You could condense it down to 4 minutes. So
it was.
Listen, I meant to get the copy. I forgot to grab it because my grandmother has one. I forgot to fucking grab it before I left.
You're good, man.
And
what are you saying, Frederick?
Yeah, I liked it. It was the trip back in time for sure.
Yeah, I liked the clash of styles because like it had the 50s vibes, but then you could tell kind of like the Twilight Zone that it was playing with some new ideas. Now, I did a little bit of research on the movie, and I did not know it was inspired by a Japanese movie called The H-Man. I don't know if anybody's heard of that.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, so I don't know how true that is, but I'm going to check out that next. But yeah, like we were saying, Twilight Zone, it's almost like it was like a prototype for a lot of the 70s and 80s horror movies is kind of what it felt like, you know?
Yeah, you can really feel that. What kind of strikes me as unique is that I get sort of a similar vibe whenever I watch this movie, and then I go and watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like the actual premise feels very similar. It's just instead of killer clowns, you've got a blob.
Yeah, or even Night of the Creeps or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like I've seen this premise like thousands of times.
In '58, it must have been pretty wild movie, though. I mean,
The
different
acting is,
sensibilities.
it feels like you've got like stage actors coming in, and
Hmm.
they probably didn't have a whole lot of time to rehearse because sometimes the way they read the lines doesn't fit really with the line.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys got that as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I did.
Animated Moon.
Yeah,
Moon.
I am here.
Hello, Mr.
Hey!
Animated Moon.
Welcome.
We
How's
just
it
had
going,
you in
man?
the intro.
We were just talking about what we like about the Blob from 1958. And I was saying, we were kind of saying that it reminded us of a like a longer Twilight Zone episode or something.
Well, it certainly was leading up to that era, 1958.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, yeah, seeing the progression of horror at that time and what they were doing with film style, with the color in particular. That movie always had really strange color to me, just very bright colors.
It's like a washed out orange in a lot of scenes, it almost seemed like.
Yeah.
Oh. So a little off topic, but Animated Moon, that stream you done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Frederick, I got, because I added everyone to get you people to watch and stuff.
Mhm.
Jump in. And then Frederick jumped in and stuff. And he was like, oh, it's lagging and stuff. It's lagging for you. And I'm like, no. And he's like, I can't even see you in the chat. And I'm like, what? He's like, I don't even see anyone else in the chat. I saw one other person before me and nothing else.
Well, because the link you shared was not the one you were watching. That's the thing.
Because I didn't know there were two different streams.
I've been streaming twice in two different ways for a while now. And for whatever reason, my internet's being freaking stupid as of late. And so like
Oh no.
the mobile, the vertical stream
Mhm.
has been getting like all of the data or something. I don't know. I have no idea why it's being done, which is really frustrating. So yeah, that was last stream was kind of a crap show, but it was kind of funny as well.
Well, you turned down the other one and moved it all to the mobile one because the mobile one was fine.
Yeah,
when you
but
did that, it shrunk the screen.
I have no idea why it did that. I don't even know if that's what the VOD looks like, actually. I probably should go back and double check.
Not
just
to bring it back to the Twilight Zone, but that seems like a case of gremlins to me.
them stream gremlins, man. They got it in for me.
There's a man out there ruining the stream.
Before we continue on with the movie, we did do art of the Blob.
We did.
And
Oh boy.
we
I'm
got
honestly
otters.
decently happy with mine.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm kind of curious, what like pen did you use? Do you have like proper inking pens?
Yeah, these were actual artistic inking pens that
Okay.
I was using. Strangely enough, I did not intend for it to look like a weird malformed cat. That is purely a coincidence, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it just sort of turned out that way. I was kind of using a picture of the Blob as a reference, and I went, you know what? The design for this feels a little boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's this other one over here that looks a lot more like the thing. I know, let's just make this a bit more like a Shoggoth, and this is the result.
So you
Is
made
that-
it very Japan.
So
Is the Shoggoth part all the eyes that are embedded? Or
Yeah, it's pretty much the eyes. Shoggoths are pretty much like completely amorphous. They're like, what is it? They're supposed to be mouths and eyes,
Mhm.
and they just like shuffle towards you. So that's what I thought of.
it's funny because this is actually closer to the 80s Blob design. I mean, there's not a bunch of eyes or anything. I think it has like a lot of skulls, and it kind of gives it like expressions. You know, skulls will move in the Blob, so it looks like it has like a personality almost.
I think that's what I used as a reference. I was looking at this and thinking, man, this is a much cooler design. I'm just kind of gonna start with this instead.
Yeah, and And I know that like in that movie, it has a lot more like tendrils almost, like it can kind of form tendrils to grab its victims. Where in the new one, it's just, or the old one, it kind of just rolls into them unexpectedly, you know.
Yeah, it's basically what would happen if a gelatinous cube got loose on the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really lacking in the 58 version. Like there's no real sense that the blob is attacking, or you don't get a real grasp of how the contact is formed. Even the guy, like I'm focusing on the guy who's working late in the garage, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah,
He's under the car.
talking about his vacation, right?
Yeah, and like he doesn't see it coming, but the blob is coming. And it's an instant yell, like "Rah!" Like there's no like he stuck his hand first, like what is this?
Yeah.
What is this thing? No, it's straight to the Like how could the blob go full terror so fast?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
wondering.
you don't really get to see it, right? I think the best two scenes as far as the blob goes in that movie is the doctor when he's looking out of the window briefly, and then the very beginning when the guy in the cabin gets it on his hand. Those are like the two most aggressive parts I think in the movie, as far as seeing the blob actually attack them. You know.
And what's the purpose of that old lady who comes in like, no, the doctor's gone. He's having a trip this weekend. What in the name of
So that gives me like the theme vibes, you know, like the whole theme I got it from that movie is like, you know, nobody believes them, and I guess it's like a trust theme, you know, like believing, like maybe like a
you feel
social
like the
trust or something.
antagonist is not actually the blob, it's the police who won't believe them, who's like
Yeah, well,
fighting
it's not
against-
even like all of the police. It's just like one asshole policeman who's just like, these fucking kids.
Yep.
Well, to be
mean,
fair, have you seen the kids he's dealing with? Seriously, I'm
That is
driving
true.
backwards. Oh. Like, come on, dude.
Totally teenagers too, not in their late 20s or 30s at all.
Yeah,
They're in the
they all
fucking
look like they're in
30s.
their 30s or something, and it's
Yeah,
like,
well, I
wait,
think
they're
it's
supposed
the-
to be 17?
Wait,
Yeah.
It's the 1950s, so in their 20s they look like their 30s.
Yeah.
do you know what you're missing, Tengage?
No.
Stapler.
It should have been an ET skull in there.
See,
Hmm.
that's so my intention with this was, and that I guess is what makes this kind of hard, right? Like the joke was, all the blob wants is his phone call, man. He's lost, you know, he landed on the earth. He's just trying to get home like ET. But then, like you know, some people think I was making that's like an ET skull or something. I was like, no, that's not what I was trying to do. But it could
No,
go
it's
either way.
literally a human skull, but
Yeah.
if you put an ET skull in
Yeah.
there as well.
Yeah, I was more saying that, like, oh, the blob just wanted his phone call and everybody's freaking out, you know?
Well, the blob has some sort of like social issues, right? He doesn't know
Yeah.
how to socialize very, very well.
Yeah. But I put some hair in there. There's a couple little bullets in there, really tiny. And I wanted to
Yeah.
color it and render it, but I didn't really. I ran out of time. So
I
Yes,
like how there's a meat cleaver in there.
yeah,
that's another thing. Like, we see nothing when they shoot him. We need to see the blob
So-
getting shot at.
yeah,
So the chef or whatever was racist towards the blob. He just wanted to get some food and then get his phone call, right?
yeah, exactly. He just wanted to phone home. You know, they
He was
treated ET like a person, but I guess the blob doesn't get the same treatment.
He
so.
was getting profiled by the cops, I see. you know,
Yeah.
Poor
So
Blob.
the butcher knife is actually a reference to the movie too, because I'm pretty sure Steve McQueen throws one at it when they're in the kitchen area. So that's kind of why I threw that in there. But that was a fun one. It you know, that's one of those things like Otter was saying. You could draw it really easy, or you could kind of put a lot of time into it, make it look really cool.
That's as much as I could do.
Yeah.
That's-
The jism part is the best
I
part.
mean-
Yeah, Jism Returns. Nice.
If I was to direct a horror movie, I would not want to direct a blob movie. It seems really hard to make him frightening, I would think.
I love it, man. I love how it looks like it's bursting out of the theater doors there.
I didn't know what to do. I was
Is that
like,
a hand down there? Nice. I think that's a little.
I can't draw hands, so it's something. I don't know.
Hey, it works.
Looks
knew what
like
It's
it was.
a jism hand.
Jism, I added while we were getting ready for the stream because I was wanting to put like a movie poster over here for something, you know.
He trimmed his beard for the occasion.
Yeah, he trimmed his. Well, this is young Jism. This is
Oh,
Jism.
okay.
Returns,
Oh, I see.
right. Yeah.
The what's it called? The sign looks really good. I like how you have the marquee around the edges there.
Mm.
That was annoying. You can clearly see I used a ruler to make this shit.
That's okay. Yeah.
Hey, everyone
Ruler.
uses a ruler.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
Rules,
oh, let me, because there's like you can either do like circles, but I was like, oh, let me try doing the star. I can't really draw stars, and it was really
Yeah.
tiny. So.
I would say even people that can draw perfectly straight lines with ease still use rulers. So
That's what I thought.
looks good.
Alrighty.
Watch, it's going to be Halloween Town next weekend, guys.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I'm
Otter.
all here for it. Yeah, we need to. We
When
need
are we
to
gonna
all
roll
right,
for
don't
that?
we?
It's
When are
now
we spinning
17
the
movies.
wheel?
It's now 17 movies. What are we adding?
No, we always had it at 17. This is the full 3 each one
Yeah.
that's rolled.
Didn't we take out the blob though?
Yeah, the Blob was 18. Now
Okay.
it's 17.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
okay.
I see.
Okay.
You
what
put
you're
the
doing.
movies in, and then you just randomize it on the wheel, so it's really.
So yeah, they made the blob otter by it's just silicone and red dye. That's all they used.
Yeah, I
There's
believe it.
Different scales of the blob as well. Like you got small scale blob at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then you got the ridiculously large blob over the restaurant towards
Yeah.
the end. What kind of special effects were those? I'm not sure. It's kind of confounding how they did that.
Yeah.
Probably double exposure.
So they used
Yeah.
miniature sets. I know that
Tons of that
for some of
sure.
that. Yeah, and then the exposure. That reminds me of what was it? The scene in Ghostbusters with the Titanic. I think kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
So would y'all say the 80 version is better?
I think we should watch the '80s version next year if we do.
Yeah,
this
we really
again.
should. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the 80s version. That's the thing.
It's
I already
good.
got
Otter,
some
you
here.
know the theater scene in this movie?
Yeah, it was really
actually get to see it?
disappointing.
Mhm.
You actually get to see what the fuck is going on in there.
Okay,
Well,
because I was like, I want to see like one of these guys actually get eaten by this thing.
Mhm. Oh, you get a lot of that in the '88 version.
Okay,
you
I'm
get,
gonna
like,
have
a
to check
kid
out the 88
killed.
version.
It's
You
more
get a
like the
kid-
thing, dude. Like it's dialed up quite a
Hey,
bit.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
didn't even hold back. They literally have like a kid get fucking munched on in the movie.
So like I was saying earlier, I'm pretty sure this was an independent movie. Like I think they had really low budget. You know, obviously Steve McQueen's first movie. And yeah, it's just it's kind of a cult classic. So got to start with this Blob. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
did think that the actors were not super great, except for the young kid who played the mentally challenged kid.
Yeah, he was great.
He was good.
He had the cap gun. He was like, I'm gonna bust a literal cap.
He's brave. He's the bravest one of them all.
I know he threw the pistol at it. That was awesome.
He's like, oh shucks, this thing isn't falling dead. I'm
Can
like,
we talk
yeah,
about how
wonder
useless
of
Jane
wonders.
was? I feel like Jane just stood there the entire movie. Like,
The girl?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's it's
Very
really
realistic
just,
film.
Yeah, it's really just.
exactly.
Why am I forgetting his name? The actual main character. It is his
Steve.
movie. Like
Yeah,
everybody else is basically a side character.
He
Mhm.
carried it well. I will say he really does carry it. He has a lot of intensity in every scene.
Mhm.
And I think he did a great job for what he had. I think he really carries the film.
yeah, yeah. I definitely, like I said, I got a lot of high trust society themes from that movie. Like the cop kind of believes him but isn't sure, and then you have the cop. What is it, Bert? The really based cop. He's like, lock him up. You know.
I like the
Well,
cop where it's like whenever nobody's looking, it's like him and a guy like over the radio lines are just like playing a chess game.
Yeah, that's great.
It's gamers on the job back in the 50s.
Yeah, I'm like before people were going around playing World of Warcraft, they were playing chess matches over fucking
This
radio.
was the equivalent of alt tabbing from one tab to or one window
Pretty
to the
much.
other, right?
It's just instead of hitting alt tab, you're just opening a drawer in your desk.
And getting on the CB. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny because I have heard that this movie is inspired by what was going on as far as like the Red Scare and all
Mhm.
that. Hard to say. I could see it being kind of,
Well,
Yeah.
the blob was
Being
red in the
enforced
color
and all that kind
version,
of stuff.
so
You could kind of see it in that sense as sort of like a reverse The Boy Who Cried Wolf, where it's
Mhm.
like this is like he's basically saying there's a blob, or if you could argue like Red's going around in town and none of them believe him, but he's actually right.
Yeah,
Well-
kind of relevant, I think, even to today with the way information kind of flows. If nobody can agree on something, you're kind of consumed at the end.
Just imagine it being the Blob 2024. It's like the guys posting on Twitter. He's like, "Holy shit, there's a blob eating everybody in town," and then it just sparks a flame war.
Yeah, repost, dislike. Yeah,
Pixar, it didn't happen.
yeah, exactly. That's AI. That's
You get
AI.
a bunch of like passive aggressive and narcissists just
Yeah,
pretty much saying like, "What do you mean that there's a blob going around in town? Like, I see that you're just clearly out for attention."
And you're clearly fat shaming people, so stop calling it a blob.
yeah. That goes back to the Twilight Zone thing. Like there was always like a theme or a moral kind of lesson in those
So that's-
episodes,
That's how we're gonna get the SJW blob, right? It's gonna
Yeah.
run through like a cotton candy machine and get like the pink hair,
Yeah.
with the side shave.
It's just the blob with a blue hair wig, right?
Oh my god, we should have done that.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing. Why didn't we think of this until now?
Because we don't think about blue wigs all the time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, Anime Moon, what you drawing?
I'm just doing a little Halloween inspired piece with these guys.
Excellent. Looks fun.
The correct answer is NDA. NDA.
No, I'm not part of the NDA club. I haven't been part of the NDA club for a long time. I don't get work.
NDA.
Get work.
Alrighty.
Damn, I almost NDA'd myself.
Nothing
That's
short
right.
of poetry.
Don't ever NDA yourself, people.
It's like poetry; it rhymes.
Otter, you want me to do the spin, or you want to do it?
I can go ahead and do the spin. I've got it pulled up here.
So we're just gonna draw whatever the movie is, right?
Yeah, whatever the movie is, that's
Oh,
gonna be our.
that's really fun. I like that. And then on Halloween, we can just draw whatever we want, right?
No, because we're gonna have a movie on Halloween as well.
Oh, we're doing a movie on Halloween. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
We'll make have that.
There we
All
are.
right. Here
All
we
right.
go.
Time to do the
Here we
spin.
go.
You ready,
Now,
guys?
Can we do
And
a little
3
recap? Hold on. Before
All
we
right.
do a spin,
Let's explain the rules. Yeah.
without any tension, without any ceremony, let's explain the rules a little bit. Let's see what movies we want it to fall on and which ones we don't want it to fall on. And then we can spin. How about that?
Well, I
All
think
right, fair
everyone
enough.
wants Halloween Town, right?
Yeah, we all want Halloween Town.
I'd like to see Army of Darkness. I watch that
Oh,
one
that'd be
every year. So
I love
and that'd
I've
be a fun
never
one to
seen
draw,
it, so I'd
too.
love that. So let's do that.
What else
What else?
here?
What do we got?
Beetlejuice.
I want
is good.
Alien.
Alien, I've
Alien.
seen it a lot. I wouldn't mind it. Gremlins 2, I think, would be hilarious.
I'd love to check
Perfect
that out.
Blue is a really
I
good
wanna
movie.
watch that one.
Yeah. What's that, Otter?
Perfect Blue is a really good movie. I'm rooting
Yeah.
for it.
Trick or Treat is really kind of that would be a great one to watch on Halloween. But
Perfect
I'd
Blue
like
is
to take
more
any
of
time.
a. Sorry, I didn't mean to step.
No, you're good.
Perfect Blue is kind of psychological horror in a way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've seen it.
It's not strictly a Halloween movie, but it's a really solid horror movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's one of the best animes I've seen.
If it's Scooby Doo, I'm gonna draw a pup named Scooby Doo. You guys remember that cartoon?
I'm gonna draw a
Oh
jism
God.
as Scooby Doo.
All right.
Oh
I
no,
think-
what's his name? What's the tiny one?
Scrappy,
Scrappy.
and everybody hated him, so that'd be a great drawing to do.
So what's Trick or
Everybody
Treat?
loves Scrappy.
Trick or Treat is Trick or Treat that movie with like 3 short films in it?
It's three. Yeah, it's three
Yes.
3 or 4 short films, and it's got the main character is, I forget his name, but he's the little kid with the bag over his head.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that one. Okay. Over the garden garden wall, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over the garden
Oh,
wall.
Garden Wall.
Yeah.
It's like a short mini series. It's like a 10-episode cartoon on Cartoon Network. It's actually pretty good. I really like it. It's one of those where if you watch it, you take a look at it from a distance, you think it's going to be pretty generic. You actually watch it though. No, it's really enjoyable.
Well,
Really
you know-
creepy.
You know what was playing? So when I was doing the drawing and stuff earlier today, the random on YouTube auto playing, it was playing like the Ghostbusters like animated show.
Ooh,
episode.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh,
And
changed.
it was the Christmas Carol one with Scrooge and stuff, and they time traveled. Like I was just listening to it in the background. They like time traveled and shit, and then they caught the ghosts that were supposed to teach Scrooge the lesson of Christmas.
that's funny.
And then they
Okay,
get back to
yeah.
their present time, and then they're like, everyone's just like really hates Christmas.
So next year we got to keep in mind what we have this year, so that next year I definitely want to do like some Hammer Dracula films. Those are good.
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, you
we
guys.
need
have
to
never
just
seen the
start
Hammer ones.
adding
Those are
like a
awesome.
bunch of schlocky horror movies on
Oh
here.
yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
really schlocky.
This is a good list though. This is a good run.
I really like Army of Darkness though. We need to add
Yeah,
Evil
that's
Dead
good.
2 next year.
There's
Yeah.
no
Evil
Chucky
Dead.
as well. We didn't put any Chuckies on.
We
Oh
just
yeah.
One of
Gotta
the
get the-
7.
One of
I'm
the
gonna
first
have to
2, I would say I'd pick. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to suggest one of the Puppet Master movies next year.
Oh yeah. The Nazi
Those
one,
are
right?
really
Those
fun.
you got to do that one.
Oh, I can put a really horrible one in
Which
next year.
one? Because it depends on the movie. If you're talking about Toulon's Revenge, I love that movie.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Littlest Reich, fuck that movie.
Not Littlest Reich, no, but either or.
Potter.
Okay.
We can put in a really horrible one next year.
What's that?
Until Dawn.
Oh boy.
yeah, the best movie I ever watched.
Please kill it.
All right.
Alrighty.
So, as a brief rundown for the rules, we are going to be spinning the wheel for what we watch next week for our review on our next Art Chill stream. So, we're going to be spinning, and we're going to be doing this 3 more times leading up to Halloween.
Sweet.
So, without further ado, are you ready, guys?
Yeah.
Ready?
All right. Three,
All right,
and
my veto
3,
ready.
2, 1.
Oh boy.
What do we got here?
Are we gonna
Come on. Halloween Town.
Oh,
Nice.
Another World, the original.
Another
Interesting.
50s. Nice.
Oh, that's quite a theme that's popping up here. 51. That's like 7 years earlier, man. We're going back.
I have to say, I do like Think from Another World more than The Blob. It's one of my favorite
Sweet.
films in general.
I have not
I've never seen that
Thing
one.
from Another World.
Cool, man. Yeah.
You see a lot more. I'll say that.
Yeah, and this is
They don't skimp
basically-
out on the action.
This is like a prelude to the John Carpenter's The Thing, right?
Oh yes, in fact, he actually
Oh.
really admired that film. He didn't want to
Excellent.
replace it.
That's a win
But it
in my
was-
book then.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
this one.
remember whenever The Thing was getting made, like John Carpenter's like remake of The Thing, it was like the movie bombed so hard in theaters that the director from The Thing from Another World was just like, yeah, this is trash. I'm like, damn, man.
Oof.
This is gonna
And
be a
now
tough
it's
one to
like
draw,
considered
too.
one of the best horror movies of all time.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. So good.
Yeah, this like I said, this is gonna be a tough one to draw. You're gonna have to really pick.
Well, keep in mind, look up the Alien from, or watch the movie first, because it's a very different take. I'll say that.
Cool.
He looks like the love child of Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, and Dracula.
Have you watched The Thing from Another World, Tinkage?
No, I have not. Funny enough, I actually did have it. A friend of mine works at like a flea market, kind of like movie game store, and I did actually have it on VHS, but I never got to watch it.
So keep in mind, The Thing from Another World is more of Frankenstein than it is from John Carpenter's version.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I dig the movie poster. I love like the classic movie posters like this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I believe the thing from Another World, that what was it? The novella that it was based off of. It's Who Goes There, isn't it? I believe
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
I've always heard about it, but I've never read it myself.
Same. I would like to read it at some point.
That
I
sounds
think
like
that'd
a
be
fun
cool.
I
Get
like
the
how
DVD this
the
time, Billy.
I like how the earlier versions of the thing are more or less an allegory for communists infiltrating America. And as it goes on, it just becomes more Lovecraftian.
Oh, wow, they have it on. They even have it on HD Blu-ray. That's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. The DVD. If you want the DVD, Billy, it's like $8.
Listen here.
I
I just forgot to
I should
grab
own
it
that
before I
one.
end up leaving, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't wasting the gas all the way to the drive to get it.
Well, it was on Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi's a good. Yeah, that's a good way to go. Sometimes Plex will have stuff too. Yeah, I could just see it now, Billy running on E, trying to get the Blob movie.
I'm like, not worth it.
Now I'm excited, man. This was one of my picks. So
Yeah, there you go.
Curious how you guys are gonna what you guys are gonna think.
Thing from
I'm
another
just looking at it right now. Looks fun.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
So who had picked the Blob?
That was me actually. So I guess I
Oh.
technically won last time.
Interesting.
Yeah. I
That's
almost
what
put the
it
80s one in there, but I was like, let's start with the original.
What a huge mistake.
I know. Yeah, so everybody came back like, oh, I didn't like it. I was like, oh, that's a bummer.
I
I
didn't
mean-
hate it. It's just it has some really rough edges in there.
Oh, for sure. It's not a
Yeah.
perfect movie at all.
I mean, I liked my watching experience. Like, I didn't have a bad time. Like, I couldn't say it's a great movie, obviously,
Right.
Because it's got flaws, but I mean, it's way better than movies coming out today.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Yeah.
There is more
bar is
personality
low.
to it. My big gripe against it is the pacing. It's an 80-hour movie, but there's still some scenes that are very slow, like really slow to the point where I'm like, this is actually a little boring.
Like when they sneak
She
out of their
said,
house
Spin
again.
faster, guys. Spin faster.
Well, I'm thinking of like when they run into like the it's like the small gang of like boys that they're kind of friends with.
Oh, Mooch Martin. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Mooch
that's his
Martin.
name.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this should be a very entertaining scene, but I don't know. It's got to be something in some of the acting from them, I think.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to see the Blob again, just like murder some dudes.
You get a lot of that in the 80s version. So that's the thing, though, is when you watch the 80s one, you'll appreciate it. I think you'll appreciate it even more.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blob was definitely the one with the most charisma on screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, he just wanted his phone call. Just wanted to go home.
Wanted to go home
Blob's
to
going
his
home.
wife and kids. You
I
know?
know. Little baby Blob. Mrs. Blob.
Don't you dare
like
call her
aliens
Mrs.
eating
Blob,
this
you know.
Yeah, I know.
He never got to have the Blob beer with the.
He is a woman Blob, right?
Poor Blob.
Poor Blob.
Well, at the end, he was. So let's talk about the ending. What do you guys think of the ending?
It made me want to
Solution.
watch John Carpenter's The Thing.
So that's kind of funny that we got the thing from Another World right after this, isn't it? But,
Yeah, that is funny.
Was this the
That's
first?
exactly where we're going.
Yeah, the Arctic, right?
Yeah.
Was this the first movie that did the scene of everyone running out of the cinema? This is the original
Yes.
that
Oh.
became a
Oh, really? I
cliche.
didn't know
Oh,
that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't know it either.
Yeah.
So you know what's really funny about that scene?
What's that?
Everyone
Everyone's
was smiling.
Yeah. Yeah, the director didn't really explain what was supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
Well, if you got paid to run out of a movie theater, I bet you'd be smiling as well.
Yeah.
The part that made me laugh and almost cry is they're like, "Oh, we just gave up our 80 cents." When they
Yes.
go to the movie theater and it only costs 80 cents to watch a movie.
That's the real monster here.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
real horror.
that's the horror of the film.
Inflation.
Exactly.
Creature from Jekyll Island.
80 cents to see a movie.
And they're pissed they lost that 80 cents.
I know.
It makes me think of Die Hard whenever you rewatch it and you see like the price for a gallon of gas that's like 75 cents or something.
Yeah.
And this is like LA on top of that. You're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. Terrible.
You know what's always confused me in video games when you look at the gas prices they have on gas stations? It's like $36, $90 range.
$36.90.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck is going on?
They're trying to future proof.
I thought the fire extinguisher thing, I was like, oh, how did nobody think of that before? You know, I don't know. Just seemed kind of funny.
It was
But how-
lame, though. I'll say, like, it would have been way cooler to flamethrower the Blob than
Yeah.
to just fire extinguisher him.
I was
CO2
guessing
mafia.
I was guessing from the very beginning. I was like, either they're gonna have to torch this thing or they're gonna have to freeze it. If gunfire is not working, then you know it's got to be one or the other.
Yeah. And the power line just kind of fizzled out.
Oh, you know what we have to put on next time's list as well?
What's that?
The Jack Frost movie.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Or no, not Jack Frost, the Killer Frost one.
Yeah, and then you have Santa Claus.
Oh,
rare exports.
oh no. Listen, Otter, your powers of trying to get Halloween Town did not succeed today.
Drat.
I bet if Umbrella
No.
Cat was here, we would have got Halloween Town though.
Yeah, I can all but assure you. Billy, you won this round.
Listen, if Halloween Town gets picked, literally my drawing is just going to be a giant turd. So
It's just gonna be a turd with like a caption over it saying "fuck you, Otter Umbrella."
oh man,
Oh my lord.
So how are the pages coming along, Frederick? Looks great.
Thank you. It's coming along nice and slow. I've got a
Here we go.
couple of commissions as well on the side here. So as soon as I'm finished with this one, it's the last double page spread of the first half, and I get back to penciling the second half of the book.
Nice.
And I found well, I'm not going to announce this on live though,
That's cool.
but yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more after the stream.
All right. Secrets.
Secret.
All right, then keep your secrets.
I thought you were going to say, all right, we'll stop the stream so Fred can tell us his secret.
I really like how when he's pulling the mask down there. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can tell the fabric. Just enough space there.
Yeah, can't wait to see what the colors.
You know, I would be drawing at the moment as part of this art stream, but you know, after the last 4 hours, maybe not.
Yeah, when I was working on the illustration, I came out and I was like, give me a couple minutes. I just came out of drawing for like 2 hours. You know, got to readjust.
So how have you been
senses.
starting out drawing Tenkage? Because
Mhm.
how I've been doing it at the moment is I've been imitating real life and art that I really like, and then just kind of going from there, and then eventually stepping over to the fundamentals after I've just like after I've learned kind of like some of the basics. How have you been doing it?
Sure. I sort of started with, figure drawing, lots of mannequins and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And then dynamic action, gesture drawing. Really threw me for a loop because, like I think I've said before, I'm kind of a perfectionist. So, like, I had to learn how to break that habit, you know. And every time I draw a gesture line with a figure over it, I would try to push it as hard as I could until the form just doesn't make sense. And then that's kind of how I got more comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically what I do is I sort of just start learning something I'm interested in, and then when it starts to become really taxing, I'll switch. So
No, that's a really good
yeah.
mindset to have, because otherwise you're a lot more likely to get burnt out on something.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said before, I go to a lot of Clayton Barton's drawing sessions over at the How to Draw Comics Academy. So he'll do there's lots of perspective stuff, and then I took a deep dive into anatomy for a little while, and that was that was brutal, but it was still fun. I enjoyed it, but after I finished up that,
Wait,
just
how
kinda-
did you do anatomy?
what do you mean?
When you
Like,
said it was brutal, like did you like cut open your own leg to see
Yeah.
how the muscles
Yeah.
were
yeah, I
placed?
had to
or-
do that.
Like,
No,
oh, so that's how the calf works.
Yeah, it wasn't like a straight medical dive into anatomy. It was more of just like more of what you need to know, like drawing backs and things like that.
Yeah,
Muscle
backs-
groups,
Backs are
bones.
pretty complicated, to be honest.
Yeah.
They look simple because on the surface it kind of looks like it's just a flat back, but there's a lot of complicated muscles that intertwine and overlap and stuff.
Yeah, and the figure drawing is what I would say I've really been hammering, because the way I think about it is if I can do the mannequins and the figure drawing, and then I get good at the anatomy, hands, feet, and faces. I mean, that's like most of the work right there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what people struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've put a lot of time into figure drawing, I would say, and now I'm just now starting to get into rendering.
And
So
just as a hint, you don't need to draw feet. You don't need to know how to draw feet.
Yeah.
Just triangles.
yeah,
Listen,
the
King Cog,
Liefeld
the real
method.
trick is to have every one of your panels be where the feet aren't seen.
like
Oh,
Yes,
all-
avoid your
Liefeld,
issues. That's how you grow.
and lots of pouches, right? Lots of pouches on the pants and the clothes.
Lots of
Yes.
zippers too.
If there's anything you can't draw, you put a pouch over it.
Matter of fact, they have 2 hooks for hands. Everyone does in this world.
Why
Yeah.
am I suddenly reminded of who is like the artistic designer for like Kingdom Hearts? You see like how all of the characters, they have zippers everywhere on their clothing and everything. And everybody's like, why are there so many zippers? He's like, oh yeah, just like zippers. It's really fun to draw. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The guy bought stock in the zipper company before he did the designs.
Actually,
King
that
Cog-
guy has an interesting story because he wasn't like professionally trained. He's self-taught.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
And he did the character design for like Final Fantasy, of course, and stuff like that. That's where he really got his start.
Wow.
yeah, especially to go on to those heights. Like, yeah,
Hey,
just being
guilty.
purely self-taught, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, that guy's actually
What's up,
it's
Guilty?
a legit great story.
Yeah.
Frederick, I think
Hail guilty.
the cover for a chord draft that I have.
Yeah.
I think the dude who drawn that, he didn't go to art school either. Or any of that.
Okay. I mean, not everyone needs to go to art school.
Yeah.
Stuff I learned in art school. Yeah, I couldn't say them on the stream, but
Also, Tinkage, did you watch the first episode of Dragon Ball Daima?
No.
I think you
Not
should.
yet.
You should.
I
It's
will
actually pretty good so far.
I will say, as far as the drawing, I got to take a 45-minute class on how to draw athletic tits. So there you go, Otter.
what?
Didn't you tell me about this? It's like
Yeah.
you're taking a class. The instructor is just like, all right, everybody, this
Yeah.
is my favorite class.
Yeah.
I love to teach. We're going to be
Yep.
drawing breasts for 45 minutes.
Yep, it was great. Various sizes, shapes.
You should keep
Height.
failing that class.
I know.
Oh, hold up, Otter. We got the perfect clip.
Oh boy.
No, not that! My breast!
Yeah, it actually helped a bit drawing that blob that I drew. So
Blob's boobs. There's not too much of a difference there.
Just remember, fat hangs. That's all you need to know.
What was the character?
You just treat it. You treat them like water balloons. All
Yeah.
right.
Yep, there you go.
Your offhand comment, Lord Otter, gave me an idea. Like,
What's that?
it's a spin-off of the Blob, but it's the Bloobs.
The blue.
So instead of a blob, it's boobs to start eating people and stuff. Like, so she's trying to make out with this boyfriend, but he's like, "Oh, I love the feeling of your breasts and stuff." And
Yeah.
then the hands sink, and
Oh,
the
no.
boobs eat him, and then the boobs get bigger.
And they can do like the Dracula thing where they entrance people.
Yeah, well, they
Like a
already do that.
Moth to the flame.
Yeah, but you have
the
to
moth
look-
to the
Why
flame.
does everything come
But,
back
like,
to Stretch
supernatural.
Panic?
Yeah.
She starts with like small, modest boobs.
She's
but
got
then
like A cups, and then by
Yeah.
the end, it's like she's like way
Collapsing
out.
buildings and stuff. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
imagine trying to tell that to the police officer.
Yeah.
Please believe us. This is chick.
Oh.
He's got big tits.
And he's like, really?
So you're saying she goes from flat chested to Dolly Parton, right?
Yeah.
and more. She has to cover a restaurant. At
Maybe
the
she
end.
gets picked on or something about it. It's like a serum. Get out of control.
This is sounding like a Bird Eye Gordon film.
It is, isn't it?
Like, what is it? The is it called Valley of the Giants? Is it,
I think
maybe
so.
not. Is that it? Where the teenagers become giant because of some serum or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. Gosh, there's so many stories with that trope I can't even recall now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and he made half of them.
Yeah, I believe it.
All right, guilty. Let's just clear the air right now. Medusas have a very flawed strategy when it comes to, let's say, charming the guys because they're not looking at their faces. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I was
So-
speaking like supernaturally. Like, yeah. But
So
you're
they
right.
have
you
like
already
uh,
introduced.
prancing beams coming out of the nipples right to the
Well,
person.
Sure.
it's kind
Tractor
of
Sure.
beams.
That's how it
Tractor
works.
beams. There we go.
it's a two-pronged attack. Yeah, exactly. You get the attention that down there, and they don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And then she tries to soft shame them. Hey, my eyes are up here. Boom, statuified
So it's
Yeah.
really just the
Boom.
shameless guys who end up surviving.
as always. As in every.
We just wrote a movie, guys. What do we need
I
AI
told you,
for?
man,
Absolutely
his offhand
nothing.
comment had some
Yeah.
was very rich in potential.
And that's the music for our movie.
That's right, Skyrim music.
We
Todd
won't
Howard,
even ask permission.
Todd Howard just shows up in a cameo to sell you Skyrim again. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see those boobs? You can touch them.
Starring Henry Cavill.
No. He shows up when the tits are like the size of mountains. Like you see those? You see those boobs? You can climb them.
The
Say the
distance-
graybeards live up there.
They call them the great
Oh,
old
the
ones.
throat of the world. That's a different context now.
Oh boy.
That's a multi-million-dollar movie right there. I'm telling you.
$1 billion idea.
Billion.
They will try and cancel it every step of the way, but if you can get it made, oh boy, you are going to be selling
The
millions.
more
my
you throw at it, the more they keep growing.
Yep.
You know, we should have put Little Nicky on the list.
They
as
can't
well.
win now. Yeah. Little Nicky.
Where he just the devil just punishes the one servant by putting a tits on his head.
I forgot about that movie. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, that reminds me. So a few days ago, we were talking about some of the actors that would fit some of our characters really well. And it was about a week ago that I mentioned that if I was to have someone play Act 4 General Karst, the first person that came to mind was Charlize Theron. And so the other day, I ended up watching Prometheus for the first time in about 10 or so years. And her role in that movie, I was like, oh my God, all you need to do is just give her a bit more of a temper and maybe a little more TNA. And that's straight up my antagonist. Holy shit. It's surprising how much it lines up.
I need to go back and watch that one again.
It's a surprisingly decent movie. It's better as a standalone movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't think about Alien at all.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
It's funny
Albeit,
you say
even
that.
as a movie, the fucking characters are incredibly retarded. It's
They're-
actually mind blowing.
I actually think the characters in general in that movie are pretty they're pretty generic. Like there's not much to them really.
But you had two dudes get lost in a cave with a fucking drone thing that pulls up a 3D map of the cave.
Well, you also have like a bit in the movie that serves no purpose. It's just this is kind of like the movie has romance in it, but it's like the most stilted romance you'll see in movies in a lot of ways. Like for one, you have the protagonist who's just kind of fucking the doctor just so she can get like xenomorph like inside her stomach after he's been like fed whatever.
Wait. Hold up. She's
bioweapon
not doing
is.
that purposely. She's in a relationship with the dude. They're a couple.
Right,
He
they're
get-
a couple. That's
my,
not the worst one though. The worst one is
David-
where you have like Idris Elba and Charlize Theron. They're just randomly talking, and he starts like randomly hitting on her, and she's like, "All right, my room, 10 minutes," and that's
Yep.
it. There's nothing else to it.
That's
Was
Luther.
Idris Elba in the fucking movie?
Yeah, he's in the movie.
God, it's been so long since I don't even remember.
He's basically Luther in every movie he's in. So
He kind of is.
great show. I actually liked the first season of that show, and not all of it was. I'm not saying the other seasons were bad, but that first plot line was really good. But yeah, speaking of useless, in the Blob, when Jane gets attacked in the grocery store and falls over into all those cans, I laughed way more than I should have at that scene. Because she had all the time, and like everybody in that movie had all the time in the world to run away, and they just always waited till the last minute.
I like how everybody's getting killed by this thing whenever it's just moving at a snail's pace.
We don't even see it moving at all. We just
That
see
too.
shots of it kind of like just slowly rolling.
Brooding and rolling, yeah.
There's no sense of speed. We never see it in the same shot as a person, so we never get a clear scale.
Yeah.
At least not
I'm
after they've
so
been
excited
all-
for you guys to watch The Thing from Another World.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm stoked.
At least not after they get the blob, after it's done with his first victim, basically.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah,
definitely put a lot of time into like the grates and underneath the door when the blob would come under the door or come out of the grates in the movie theater. The HVAC, they the vent, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, I like the special effects for those bits. You can tell it's a simple trick, but it still holds up pretty well, actually. It's
Mhm.
just a fun effect.
Little stop motion.
Yeah. And one of them, I'm pretty sure it's just a reverse shot of where it's like going back underneath the door, just receding. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can tell that takes in reverse.
Yeah.
the nurse dying makes no sense, man. It's like
Yeah. That's actually, yeah, she just stayed in the room, like, get out of the room. What are you doing?
she's like, oh no, I'm in the room. Yeah, but you're like 30 centimeters from that other guy, so just step back out of the room. How big is the blob? Is it the smallest?
And he just leaves her there and he's like, I'm going to get the gun. It's like, you could just leave.
You just walk through the door. You know that?
So, Otter, you've seen Alien Covenant, right?
Yeah, it's been a few years. I remember there being some decent parts to it. A lot of stupid shit, though. A lot of stupid shit.
I'm not going to share it because I actually might get copyrighted on it. So, but I you got to look up the fucking slip scene. The whole fucking that whole scene is they're more retarded than the characters from Prometheus. These two.
What I remember the most from that movie is just where one of the guys steps on like a mushroom and then he sniffs the spores. Then it's like 3 hours later, it's just like an alien or xenomorph just like shoots out of his nose, kills him somehow.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about was another dude. They brought him in and he starts convulsing, and then the not captain's wife gets locked in there when like the thing's coming out of his back. She ends up, I think, slipping and falling and then gets killed by it. The one chick who locked her in there ran all the way to the front of the ship to get a shotgun, came all the way back. That chick is dead and then slips on the fucking blood, shoots up, then runs out of the room to go get another gun. And
This
then
is so stupid.
And then shoots it and then blows up the whole fucking ship, killing her.
Oh my god.
It is some of the. It's actually hilarious how bad it was. I don't know if Tinkagi, you've seen it either. It's been a
Covenant?
while.
No, I've not seen Covenant.
Oh my god, you got it.
I barely remember the movie. That's the thing. It's like I watched it about like 5, 6, 7 years ago, but I can hardly tell you a thing about it other than I remember a few shots being pretty, and I remember an alien just like shooting out of a guy's nasal cavity. That was about it.
So Wrangler's saying the alien from Species versus Xenomorph. Who do you think? Does the species one have any chance? The species one, isn't it just like luring in men to kill them? And like,
So is this like this could be like Alien Resurrection end credits? You know, like
the what?
that's a well. Isn't that kind of what happens in Resurrection in Alien 3?
They use Ripley's blood
Mm-hmm.
to make all the xenomorphs and the queen,
Right.
and somehow the queen shat out a human xenomorph hybrid.
So I guess So I guess Species is like a shortcut to that. Just lure the xenomorph in, and then you get that movie.
I'm trying to remember. Her whole thing, if I remember
I don't know.
correctly, was luring people and then killing them, like the man shit banger. For some reason,
Yeah. Yeah, I think the xenomorph wins that one. I don't know. I haven't seen Species in a long time. I'll have to rewatch that one.
I don't remember what. Does she turn into? Oh my god! Yeah, the xenomorph wins. First of all, she has like a cockroach, fucking like skeleton thing. So, the fuck?
Species was kind of a B movie for its time.
All right.
Right? A lot of 3D CGI.
So, prepare your eyes, people. Prepare your eyes.
Oh no.
Here you go.
Oh no.
Oh, I forgot about that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the xenomorph wins. I'm just saying.
Was this made by Sci-Fi Studios or something?
I don't remember. All I know is the xenomorph wins. Like, this is like a cockroach lady. Okay.
Who plays the character? I forget. Is that? It's not Michelle Pfeiffer. Who's
Well,
No.
Let me find a poster with not fucking dog.
Oh, this
shit
was
quality.
this was clearly like a B project. It was not a huge Hollywood blockbuster.
Most of the budget was the little suit they made.
Mhm. I do remember this movie though.
God, I can't.
Like when it came out.
Yeah, it was everywhere in the rentals,
Mhm.
in the rental blockbusters and stuff.
I think
Because
I
no one
remember
was
seeing
renting
it
it.
on Netflix, like,
Yeah.
like just the thumbnail of it, just on Netflix.
Ben Kingsley, Michael
Big-
Madison, Alfred Molina.
Forrest
and-
Whitaker's in that, huh?
Evidently.
That's the guy with the lazy eye, right? Yeah. Sorry.
One who, yeah, he's playing. I think the last thing I saw him was Rogue One, wasn't it?
He's in a samurai movie too.
Like, as an aside, I don't get the hype behind Rogue One. I mean, compared to all the other crap that Disney's put out, sure, it's
Comparatively speaking, it's better than most of the other
It's-
Disney Star Wars stuff, but I'm kind of with you. I think it's kind of a boring movie.
Yeah,
I-
Rogue
I
2 was much
so
better.
bored.
So they changed the opening and like the streaming and I think the DVD. The original opening to that movie was very jarring because you got no Star Wars like opening credits roll and everything. It
I
just
don't care about
immediately-
that.
I do because that's kind of important that you expect for Star Wars.
It is
I
kind of
think
an
that, like
icon
actual
right
characters you care about as well are kind of important, but we didn't get that.
Yeah, but that's a first sign to where it's going. All right. They didn't get the thing right.
Yeah, so, like, I wanted to follow the crew on the other spaceship that rammed itself into the Star Destroyer. I was like, yo, those guys look like they know how to get something done. Like I want to follow those guys.
Yeah.
Also, the
Like,
movie
screw
was
this other crew.
also,
No kidding.
the movie was just Pompeii, because there was the Pompeii with Kit Harrison, and I forgot who the other one was. They both end the exact same way, the Rogue One, with the two dumbasses like hugging each other. But they're about to get-
Oh yeah, that Forrest Whitaker actor. He's in a movie called Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. Yeah, and he's literally he plays a character named Ghost Dog who works for the mafia, and he like follows the samurai code. It's from like '99. It's like this, like a cult classic. You know, not a big movie or anything, but that's
I'm
one you
assuming
should
this
check
is when
out.
he was in shape and not fat.
He looks exactly the same.
He's still fat.
Yeah, look it up. See if you can find a screenshot of it or something.
What was it?
It was
again?
also in a film called The Crying Game.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ghost
what was it
Dog:
called?
The Way of the Samurai.
Ghost Dog.
Yeah, The Way of the Samurai.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be the most weeb crap name.
1999.
99.
Oh my god! Hey, just make a guess what he's wearing.
He's got a hood.
This is like maybe this is where they got like Assassin's Creed from, like the present day version.
Oh god.
It's
Oh, no.
it's a
Oh, here
pretty
you
it's a pretty
go.
fun movie, man. Yeah,
Oh my word.
it's a pretty fun movie.
No.
Gotta check it out.
Yeah, this is a
Oh my god! If they can stop doing that.
Oh my
that
god.
movie's got a
that's
cult
bad.
following as well.
Yeah.
Live by the code, die by the code.
Jim Jarmusch.
Oh, of course.
I
yeah,
hear
the
it's really
code.
good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
So when I think of a samurai, this is what Assassin's Creed Shadows want you to believe in. Wait, so Ubisoft is just ripping off this movie?
Yeah, but this is actually good.
Yes. Does he talk like a ghetto black dude as well?
I don't remember. It's got
Wait,
that
hold
like
up.
it's got that Romeo Must Die kind of like vibe to it.
How'd he go from having the samurai sword to fucking just?
Oh, he still
shoot
uses
people?
guns. He follows the code. Yeah, see, this is like totally Equilibrium or like the Matrix right here, right? That was what the late '90s were all about that.
Well, The Matrix came out the same year, so
Yeah, yeah. Equilibrium, I
It's
think,
so-
was a year or two before or something, right? I can't remember.
after.
No, it was after. It was like 2002. But to
Oh,
me,
yeah.
it's so funny because I saw Equilibrium like years later.
Yeah.
Like, my brother stumbled across it. It's like we're watching this movie,
That's a fun
and
movie.
so now it's like a mid 2010s movie.
Yeah,
This is when I watched it.
yeah, 2002. You're right. That's I really like that movie actually.
The soundtrack for the movie is just hip hop music.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed. Dude, oh my, Tenkage.
Mm.
That game's gonna be such a dumpster fire.
It
Which
already
game?
is.
Well, you know why they
I know what
do
game he's
the,
talking about.
Oh boy.
you know why they do the rap music for Assassin's Creed, right?
No.
Wow.
It's the DEI because all the rappers are gay now, so it covers all your DEI for the music category.
Did he turn them all gay?
It's the price of it's the price of fame.
Oh my god.
You know, the lotion companies are going to be really sad that he's getting locked up. You know it's
Yeah,
like,
they
hey,
all closed their. All the boards of directors quit the day after Diddy got caught.
Well, there
like,
goes 20% of our stock.
Yeah.
Did he make any brand deals with lotion companies as well? Or not lotion, but oil
Alcohol.
and stuff.
There's a big issue with the alcohol that he was
Mm.
working with, and some people say that's what took him down. He made some enemies with by starting to provide the alcohol himself, and so he overstepped his. He did the one thing you
Turf.
weren't allowed to do in a cabal, right?
Yeah.
It's to step on the other guy's turf.
Yeah.
And some say that was the kickoff to
Wait, what? He
him
made
losing
his own
protection.
alcohol?
He had a deal with a company that was doing vodka, I believe, or some alcohol.
Something like that.
And I haven't gone down the whole rabbit hole. I'm not that interested in knowing all the details, but people
hold up.
say
I can
that
get you interested. I can get you
It is
real
a rabbit hole, that's for sure.
Darth Jar Jar was behind it. There you go.
You mock me, but you know it's true.
It's the rule of two, right? Yeah.
If you look deep down inside, you will know it's true. They were on the same planet, Billy Bob. Think about it.
If Yusa look deep down, Yusa will know it's true.
Jar Jar is the one that hints that the queen that was way too old for him is cute. Look at her. Isn't she cute? Don't you like her? Huh? Think
What?
about it, man.
Nothing bad will happen. Yeah.
Nothing bad at all.
Palpatine just finished him off.
Yep. Exactly.
Phrasing.
Context.
You won't become half cyborg or anything like that.
You also won't get your dick and berries burned off at all. You're fine, Anakin. You're fine.
More, well, they replaced it with a dildo because he's more machine than man now.
Poor Annie.
Yeah.
Well, he's got 3 settings. It's not that.
So when you hear somebody say, Anakin's my favorite character, ooh, yeah, you might want to wait and see what happens next.
Well, you had to be like a kid or something, or didn't know about the original trilogy or something.
Yeah.
You're like, I totally didn't see this.
Or Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah. My kids just saw the originals and the prequels. And that's what my oldest said. She was like, Anakin's cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Needs to kinda cut
enjoy it
some
while it
bits off.
lasts. Yeah.
You're about to learn life's number one lesson here.
You know what
Oh.
you should show them? Well, not you show them later down when they're old. You know
Yeah.
the clip from Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my
With,
god.
Anakin being like, "Think of happy thoughts. Think of happy thoughts," and he goes back to heaven and stuff with Padme when he's gonna kill the younglings.
Well, we haven't watched it yet. We have been watching some of the regular Clone Wars, but I did get a hold of the Tartakovsky Clone Wars that you
nice.
guys recommended. So
I really like the
Ooh.
Tartakovsky version.
Anakin is pretty cool in that. So
It's-
Obi-Wan is
again,
really cool.
Yeah.
Tartakovsky, everything's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah, that's true. And I also picked up Primal. So my
It's a-
my read and
Oh,
watch
heck,
list is
yeah.
just ridiculous right now.
It's just a fun
I-
watch, though. It's
Yeah.
It zips by really quickly. There's 2 parts, and they're not very long, I believe, right?
No,
For
About like
Primal,
40
yeah.
minutes or something like that.
for Star Wars, I think the first half is kind of quick because if I'm not mistaken, they were meant to be like commercials at first or something.
They're like
And then
little vignettes of the Clone
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah.
They're like small little self-contained stories.
Yeah, and then the second half, from what I understand, is a little more lengthy. They just got like a little more time or something. I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Well,
Well, they-
They
It's
also,
a lot more like the 3D series in the second
Okay.
half.
and there's a
Okay.
bunch of lore you get on the Force that you've never gotten before as well. So they dive
That's
into
sweet.
some fun stuff.
have you gotten to the General Grievous part, right?
Which one? I mean, I've already kind of been spoilered on those, so to speak.
When it
'cause,
first introduces them.
he's super cool. That's probably he's probably the most badass on that show. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
So the whole thing with that was,
and that's how he should have been.
Yeah, this was being made during, or when Revenge of the Sith was also being produced, getting made. So they were just going off of what George was telling them about General Grievous.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's a cyborg. He like hunts
cyborg.
Jedis and collects their lightsabers and stuff. And then like the other
Grab
thing,
people with his feet.
he does like this
Yeah.
maniacal laugh and all this other shit. And they're like, all right, they're trying to figure out what they're doing with them.
Yeah,
So
and they
that's
made
one
him
of
really
those-
badass, and his fighting style to boot was pretty cool. I've
His
seen clips of
fighting
it.
style is what makes him so cool.
Yeah.
It's the fact that, I mean, a lot of the Jedi could probably stand toe to toe with him, but his whole thing is just fight very sporadically. Like, it's basically blitzkrieg strategy.
Mm.
Just like overwhelm the enemy before they know what to do.
Well, he also
That and
uses
intimidate them.
technology. He also uses
Yep.
his equipment like
like a
bounty
droid
hunter.
would. Yeah,
And he was trained by Count Dooku.
that too.
Yes.
So it's not like
That
he's just-
series also made Count Dooku really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
really
yeah,
like
honestly-
Count Dooku until that point. Then I see the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. I'm like, okay, I see how Count Dooku is kind of revered.
So I also think even the 3D animated Clone Wars did really good with Dooku and Darth Maul.
Honestly, yeah.
Mm.
Like Darth Maul was pretty badass done in the show as well.
Yeah, I think we just hit season 3 on that series. So
Has Savage Opress been introduced? I think he has in season 3,
Yeah,
where he's
I think so.
Maul's brother,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and his is cool because he's just basically a wild beast, just tearing shit up when he fights.
I'm pretty proud of my kids though. They like the original series the best. So already winning.
That's
I-
good, man.
Yeah,
You brought them up.
wish George
Brought them
had
up
his-
right.
I'm trying.
You got them young enough. You know,
Yeah,
you can't train them past a certain age into the OT. You know?
yeah.
I have this weird bit of nostalgia where it was like the first Star Wars movie I ever watched. I was like 3 or 4 years old, and it was The Phantom Menace. And so I wasn't really aware of like all the flaws of the writing at that
Yeah.
time, but I was like, I don't care. This is just a really fun movie. Like
Pod racing.
3-year-old me did not care.
It's
Yeah.
not
And
easy.
I loved that movie up until I was about like 12, 13, 14. And even then I was like, yeah, it's not that good. I still enjoy it, but the original trilogy just has this rustic feel, which
Yeah.
is just way better.
So
I still don't hate the Phantom Menace. It's only Attack of the Clones that I really hate.
Oh, that is a bad movie.
It
does
That
have-
is-
That movie is all over the place. Yeah.
it does have good parts. but
It does.
has,
It's
like,
just the romance. I'm
horrible-
like, holy shit. Even as a kid, I was like, I don't like this movie just because this is very bad romance.
I also didn't like the Obi-Wan and Django fight on Camino.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that one from it?
hmm
Mhm.
And I think it does. Attack of the Clones, in my opinion, not counting the sequels because I don't give a fuck. But in terms of all the movies, I think it has the worst lightsaber fight, and it's not the Yoda and Dooku one. It is the Anakin and Dooku one in it, where they're kind of like just twirling their lightsabers in the dark. And I'm like, this sucks. Stupid.
I also
Ah.
love seeing the difference in reactions between like Anakin getting his hand cut off versus Luke. Luke is like screaming at the top of his lungs. Anakin's just like, and then he gets force pushed.
Hold up. Keep in mind, Anakin got cut from his elbow.
Yeah, it's even worse for Anakin.
He just gets pushed and he's like, oh. I'm out, Obi-Wan. Then Yoda shows up. I actually do like the Yoda fight.
Yeah. I think most people enjoyed it when it happened. When it
Well, I
came
know a
out.
lot of people shit on it. I'm like, what did you expect from Yoda?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
He's gonna
it's
have a
not
lightsaber.
Yoda, dude. It's
He's also
have a
kind of gonna
lightsaber.
have to jump around the place. Dude's tiny,
Yeah.
so it's like he's got to compensate for it somehow.
it looks ridiculous. I think you're wrong.
Yeah, but okay. How are they gonna do a lightsaber fight? He's a Jedi, so he's gonna have a lightsaber. There's no ifs ands about it.
He should have been able to blast electricity and just done like smart stuff. Like stop fighting on the same level. I think he's beyond fucking toys and
Like
lightsabers.
defensive. Yeah.
Look
Either
at Darth
that or
Vader
just
and
completely fucking around with the enemy, just like doing like these all these force powers from a distance. They try to get closer, and he's just like, no.
yeah, like Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back. He's like throwing a bunch of stuff at Luke. He's not going in straight with the laser. He's like, okay,
Yeah,
here.
but here's the thing.
Here's the
Dooku
fridge.
isn't Luke. Dooku was an actual Jedi master. That's the big difference. Luke in that scene was someone wildly, barely trained. And then Vader was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Here, and just throw some boxes at him. Which way
You're a
with them.
disappointment to me.
Yeah, like the only time I do love Empire Strikes, I think Shad even done a video on it. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only time Vader actually takes the fight serious is when Luke finally hits him in the shoulder, and then Vader grabs the sword by two hands and just goes wails on
Yeah.
him. Cuts his hand off. It's like, oh,
The lightsaber fights in the in that film, I think, are way better than the dance choreography of the prequels.
I do too. I think there's more dramatic weight behind them.
Mhm.
You can argue that the choreography isn't quite to the same level as the prequels, but
Mhm.
it's more the context around it. There is a lot more like character in
Yeah.
the fights.
So I'm gonna agree somewhat. I'm gonna disagree on Phantom Menace. I think Phantom Menace was actually really good. I
How
think it's-
dare you?
one of the best lightsaber fight scenes because George was like, "All right, no dialogue."
That's a good one. That is a
I'm
good
not-
fight scene for
Yeah.
sure.
Now,
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
I'll
I'm
give you
just
that one. Yeah.
Revenge
all
of the Sith.
all I'm really saying is that the original movies there was more like character interaction during the fights.
Mhm.
The prequels have very good choreography. It's just there isn't a whole lot
They're not
going
really
on
telling a
between them
story.
outside of it.
Yeah.
The Phantom Menace does.
Yeah, Phantom Menace with Obi-Wan getting trapped behind the force fields, which were
Okay, that's fair.
really
That's
really
fair.
random, and I guess I don't understand enough
Yeah, I don't
about
understand why
the
there was.
facility and why it was like that, but yeah.
Well, they have like force run where they can run at really high speeds.
Yeah.
Except for that moment.
So
Yeah, right, exactly.
Hinkage,
Mm.
it wasn't made by an engineer; it was made by an architect. He just thought it looked really cool. They had these
Fair enough.
fields. It actually, when
The
you
truest
think about
thing
it, like,
said in this entire video, yeah.
Yeah.
Entire stream, yeah.
but Revenge of the Sith, I think it gets a little too much in the choreography. Also, the fight goes on a little too long.
Yeah.
Like we get that it's supposed to be epic, but like again, back to the Empire Strikes Back, that's epic in itself, and I think that fight's a lot shorter. Like significantly shorter.
Well,
Oh,
it's
it is.
shorter
Well,
but
again-
sweeter. It's the
Dude.
highlight of the movie.
The way it starts, man. The way it fucking starts.
Yeah, it's so good.
Well, it's like that sense of anticipation. It's like just lightsabers. It's like they're stepping in rhythm. You're like, oh shit's about to go down between these two.
right.
And Luke
I'm also
lights
gonna
up
put-
first, if I recall, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also going to put Return of the Jedi up there. I think the beginning of the fight is not that interesting. But once you get like Luke fucking snapping and going ham on Vader.
Luke's part of
good.
that movie is fucking amazing. It's really just Han and Leia's where it's not all bad. It's just parts where I'm like, this could have been
You're
done.
talking
a
about the
little better.
Ewok part.
Ewoks are part of it, but yeah, well, kind of the Ewok part. Yeah, it sort of like takes away a lot of the tension in that last movie.
Yeah. Return of the Jedi, my favorite part is the opening. Like the whole Tatooine stuff with Jabba. I do like I don't care for the middle part, to be honest, when they're setting it up. But I do like Luke actually like turning himself into Vader and stuff in that scene.
I do agree with you. The beginning is really strong, but I must say my favorite part has always been the way Luke stands up to Vader and refuses to kill him, and stands up to the Emperor. I thought that was always like a huge.
I'm not
victory.
shitting on that part.
No, I know.
That part I love. I don't really care for the Ewok and the indoor planet parts.
Listen, that's because you're a bigot, man.
That's right. The little tiny
You got
furballs.
against Ewoks, man.
You know, the
Well-
funny part about that movie is you get sort of the slightly derivative idea of them making a second Death Star, and it's like, okay, then surely that's
Foreshadowing.
Let's do it again.
This is the
Surely that's
foreshadowing of
the
Disney
last one,
Star
right?
Wars.
This totally worked last time.
Wait.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny now with the prequels added into the mix with the story? It took them 20 years, like 19 to 20 years to finally make the Death Star. Yeah, I guess only it took them 4 to 5 years to make the second one.
Well, yeah, because they learned a lot, and they already had like the manufacturing in place. You know,
the real funny part is like you get into the Disney sequel trilogy and you get like what 2 more or something like that.
Yeah.
Base.
no, they
I'm
did
like,
one on a
come
whole
on.
planet. What's it called? The
Star
one that's-
Killer Base.
Oh,
Now I
Which
want
they-
a Ghost
they were-
Dog Way of the Jedi movie with Ewoks.
Even how it blows up is kind of stupid. It's like it doesn't. It's like the base doesn't blow up. The planet doesn't blow up. The planet apparently turns into a sun somehow. I'm like, what?
Hold on.
Oh,
The
okay.
whole-
Planets can do that if they're gas giants. Kind of hard to do that with a bunch of rocks.
Oh, and by the way, Captain Phasma, she survived getting stuck in a trash compactor and the planet
You wanna-
exploding.
well, first of
Right.
all, it's because the planet doesn't have any dialogue, or else it would be saying, "I am now your son."
Oh my! I remember watching that, and then you immediately like, oh, you remember the New Republic, like Luke, Han, and Leia, and all the rebels fought for? Oh, they're all gone. completely destroyed by Star Killer.
I just find it
Shooting.
really freaking stupid that they're called the rebels.
Yeah,
And it's like
same.
you're the resistance, and it's like you're not resisting anything. You're the establishment now.
Yeah, and, like,
Oh
You freaking
no.
morons.
No. There's an actual thing about that. So the whole point is supposed to be you have the Republic, and then the Resistance is funded by the Republic in First Order occupied space.
That makes no freaking sense.
I know it's stupid, but
you know, you want to know something funny is that Heir to the Empire sort of has kind of a similar concept where it's like the New Republic is the established order, and there is still Empire controlled territory, but they're basically being fought back like time and again, and it's like, I wonder who could save us. Oh yeah, Grand Admiral Thrawn. You know, they kind of should have just made a Heir to the Empire trilogy. That might have actually made them a ton of money.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what all the games and stuff and comics and all the other books are about. After was like you have the Republic established. They're still fighting the remnants of the Empire and slowly taking over the galaxy. Disney said, "Fuck that! Throw that all out." The rebels
They
managed
complain about it.
managed to beat the Empire in 1 year.
Hey Disney, you like strong female characters? You like making money? You like having the fans on your side? Just make an Heir to the Empire trilogy, all right?
Or it's absolutely criminal that we have not seen Dash Rendar yet.
Yeah.
They could have done Mara Jade, which, by the way, would have been sexy. She's a fucking
Yep.
redhead, so that would have got more people excited for her. She's
They
an
could have
actual
turned her
can't have
black.
that.
I would have loved it.
She's like the exact character they wanted to have with Rey, and they failed at. I'm like,
But they wanted to
Mara
do it
Jade is right
themselves.
over here, and people
Yep.
love her.
They needed an actress that looked like Kathleen Kennedy.
Could have been Christina Hendricks as Mara Jade.
It's such a disappointment when you realize, and then they're half-ass adapting it now. It was a funny
Oh,
thing.
I'm sure.
Kathleen Kennedy said they have no material to adapt, and then turned it around and went, "Oh, but now we just found all this 30 years worth of material. Let's
Oh yeah,
half-ass.
we just found it. Yeah.
Oh, you like Thrawn? We're gonna give you a really shitty version of Thrawn, Ahsoka and Mandalorian. You know,
We've got Thrawn at home.
Tree.
Yeah, we've got Thrawn at home.
it's like, oh no.
Jeez. Yeah, I have the Mara Jade comics actually, the trade paperback of all the. I think they did like a 5 or 6 volume series or 6 issue series.
Was that
For Heir to
written-
the Empire.
Was that written by Mike Barron?
Let me see. I can't remember.
So was it the Heir to the Empire? Because Mike Barron did the adaptation comic of like the book. And I think
No,
it was
this one is Star Wars Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand from '98.
Okay, then that's not one.
Let's see. Yeah, actually, that might be the. I don't see Mike Barron here, but it does have Timothy Zahn.
So I'll show you the Heir of the Empire comic one.
Here, I'll send the
I
picture
got-
of this so you can see.
Yeah, I got mine from when I was a kid. The action figures. Sometimes they would come with the comic with it,
Hmm.
and it was Mara Jade and Luke.
Here, I sent it to the Discord.
I really like that cover.
Actually, yeah, I like the art.
Yeah, the internals. The internal pages aren't too bad either.
Show us the interiors.
Let me see. Merging. I'll have to bring it up along with the Ghost Rider stuff on Proof of Comics, Frederick.
We ever done the font for the title? I think something
Uh,
to art well on that.
I can't seem to find any good images of the interiors right now, but yeah, I'll do that. But there's lots of covers. I mean, if you look it up, you can find those.
All right.
But I hung on to that just because, you know, again, they're probably never going to do a legit Mara Jade. So
Not that I expect they'll eventually do a Mara Jade, but she'll be like buffed out, no tits, pretty much a man. That's what they'll do with Mara
they'll
Jade.
hire Gina back on for the player, right?
No. What was the? They'll get Chris Cyborg, the other actual like trick. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
It's like the fucking. What was he? Like a. What are you, a SEAL team? A Navy SEAL or some shit?
Something.
Put on a wig and then went into the female MMA.
You became a female seal?
Yeah.
And he became a strong woman.
I'm strong women, yo.
Dude, that's one of the things that aged the best from South Park was the Macho Man
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Olympics thing. I'm a strong woman.
They tried to turn it around and make it sound like it was pro, strong women, but it's definitely not.
Oh, who, the woke people?
Yeah. They tried to turn around and be like, see, it's saying you shouldn't think this about or whatever. It's like, no, that is not what it's saying.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Yeah.
There's a
Knock
lot of
people out.
stupidity out there. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not.
And most of it's online.
You don't say.
It's almost
Happy
like
to make my
everybody.
contribution.
Yeah, me too.
It's almost an epidemic.
It's almost like you gave everybody easy access, right? It's just
Yeah,
say
well,
whatever
see,
the hell
that's
they
the
want,
thing.
no accountability.
Controversial opinion. I used to love the internet when it was hard to get onto it.
yeah.
It used to filter a little bit.
It was a good filter, that's for sure.
We didn't take pictures of our first supper back then.
Yeah.
Because it took time for the picture to load, like one row at a time.
If somebody made a phone call, you got kicked off.
Oh, man.
Hello, who is this? And it's just a bunch of static.
Yeah.
Wrong number.
My earliest memories of the internet are
Oh,
like printing
yeah.
out X-Men pictures
Yes.
on like a dot matrix printer.
Yes. That was the best use of the
Oh my gosh,
internet.
a friend of mine who's an IT
That's
guy,
cool.
he just got his hands on a dot matrix printer.
Oh
that
my
he's
gosh.
screwing around with.
I don't know if that is celebratory or if I should feel bad for him. Yeah.
No, man,
he's
it's
gonna have a great
great.
time.
Yeah.
No, we're kind of all about that stuff,
Oh yeah, we talked a little bit about it last time. Yeah. Absolutely. Old tech is can be pretty cool.
Oh, man, the best is when people make music out of the printers and hard drives. And
Oh yeah, Flopatron or whatever.
it's
called.
incredible.
Dial-up sound used to be like my ringtone on my phone.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when you'd get called up by fax machines accidentally, quote
Yep.
unquote?
Accidentally, yep. Totally.
They got wrong numbered you, but it was a fax machine, so it would keep trying over and over.
Oh. Dude, sometimes I look back at like old tech and like its design and its look and like all that kind of stuff, and I just think we went wrong. Something went wrong. Freaking Apple came along and just decided to turn everything into a doggone minimalist hell for us.
Yeah.
Every
Everything is too
step of the
sleek
way
now.
was a fight, man. Every step of the way was a
Yep.
fight. We won some, we lost some.
Well, Apple has always been terrible with drivers, so we still have that little bit of a victory.
I don't think Microsoft is.
Yeah.
Maybe not much
Much.
better, but
I have never been closer in my life to switching over to Linux, and it'll happen one day.
I've done it. I did it back in 2003 or 4. So it's been 20 years now. I've been on Linux.
The only thing I'm worried about is I think everything, even NVIDIA, is starting to play ball with Linux. But the only thing I'm worried about is Clip Studio Paint.
yeah. Yeah, I just picked up a license for that, so now I'm worried about that too.
Yeah, now
There
you
are
got
ways to get running Wine, but I don't know how good it is.
Yeah.
While Wine, it works pretty well for some software. The older the software, the better it is.
Hmm.
But I know there's also equivalents. I've never played with Paint Studio, but I know there's people are painting comics with Krita a lot.
Yeah.
I refuse to go to Korea.
Well, if you're going to go to Linux, you gotta
Them's
figure
the breaks. Yeah.
You gotta figure that out, man. Maybe you're not ready to go full Linux. Maybe you just want a dual boot.
Well, we'll see. I just hope. I'm just holding out that, like, if there isn't an official support for Clip Studio Paint, that Wine is good enough to make it work. I know you can get it working with Wine. I've seen it, but again, I just don't know how good.
Well, that's the thing with Linux. You can get it to do everything you want. You just gotta figure it out.
Yeah,
or-
but
It's just a matter of putting in the time and the work to
Yeah.
actually make it happen.
Yeah.
And depending on which distro you go with, that can be easy or not so easy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I haven't made the switch. As far as just like daily use, not worried about like certain programs or whatnot, but just general use. I just don't feel like it.
There's a couple. Like if I had to swap over to Linux like tomorrow, there's like one or two where I would
Like
I would
Mint or
pretty much
something.
just start it up and it would be easy as it could be. Like
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Linux Mint.
yeah,
Like that's one of my favorites.
yeah. I like
That's what I would go with.
If you've used Windows, you're likely going to know how to use Linux Mint. That's
Mhm.
the really nice thing about it.
Yeah,
Or you could go with something like Arch Linux, where you have to
No,
handle
no,
everything.
no.
You use Arch. by
Oh,
the
it's
way.
Kali Linux or nothing.
How about Gentoo, where it's like
Yeah.
every update you got to recompile your whole operating system?
Yeah, I tried that back in 2003. Okay, I learned back then.
How did that go?
Well, yeah, I was like, yeah, this is taking more than a week. Let's try another one.
We're gonna go with we're gonna do this instead.
I never used Gentoo, but I did there for a hot minute. I used Arch Linux quite a bit. It was interesting. It
I've
was a good
seen
learning
people
experience.
use Arch. I've never felt the inclination. I've always felt that Debian made a lot of sense for me.
Well, Arch is there if you want to make life tough for yourself and customize absolutely everything.
Yeah, you want to touch everything on your computer as it installs. Arch is the way to do it. But if you just want to get it running so you can use it,
Yeah, don't go with Arch Linux
I'll go with
if,
something else.
if that's what you want to do. Arch
Yeah, I'll
Linux is
probably
there if you really like to just
Yeah.
tinker with your operating system.
Mint cinnamon.
When it's like almost more of a hobby than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a hobby at that point. It is
Oh.
fun, but oh boy, can it be frustrating.
Oh, it's much more than a hobby. You
Yeah.
have to cancel all your other plans. Like having a
No
life.
drawing.
That was nice,
comics.
right? Forget about that.
Yeah.
I made life really difficult for myself whenever I was using Arch because I set up VirtualBox on my Arch Linux machine of all things, and yeah, I don't recommend it. Also, setting up a sound system is surprisingly difficult.
Sound?
Yeah, it's really cumbersome.
So what?
Dude, I freaking hate how sound is handled
What-
on Windows. It is the most frustrating part of Windows.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
what text editor did you use, Otter?
At
That's
back
the
in-
most divisive questions you can ask.
Well, you're gonna
Yeah.
hate my answer. Back in
I
the
already
day, I
hate
just
your
used
answer.
Nano. Now I use Vim. I
Wow,
love it.
see, there you go. That's a real man right there.
I love hearing how close you were to spurging out. Then I mentioned Vim. You're like, okay, we're cool.
Yeah, you passed the litmus test on it.
Nice.
Like
do-
Vim is
dude,
a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to actually knowing how to work with it, it's great. It's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's curvy like the teeth on a saw.
It's a really sexy video text editor.
It is, but you got to know the shortcuts. But when you do, it's so fast and does exactly what you want it to do.
Like when I've used it, I don't think I know like 1/5 of what you can do in the editor, and you can still go really fast.
Yeah. No, I mean I write all my scripts in Vim just to give you an idea.
No, whenever I've coded, I've always used Vim. If I have a choice, that's what I prefer.
That's what I used to do as well. But then when I got into like Windows environment, we had to use the Visual Studio Code.
There's a silver lining to it. VS Code has a Vim plugin, so it kind of the same difference for the most part. Where it gets more annoying is whenever you're using something like Visual Studio. I do not like Visual Studio that much. VS Code is very elegant, you know. It's super easy to set everything up. Visual Studio is just like, okay, here's a lot more of the actual shit that's going on behind the scenes. You handle it.
All right, I think we've like made the ears bleed of the non-tech people.
I'm used to this, so
So
For my job.
what software libraries do you use? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Oh god. Oh god.
Okay, getting into the weeds with that one.
I'm just
we're only
kidding. Let's go
scratching-
back to the Blob. Let's go
We're
back.
only scratching the surface
So
here.
the
all right?
Blob,
I was talking about Linux developers.
Dude,
What,
we're
they use
only
Fedora?
scratching the surface of this shit.
oh yeah.
We love the developers. I'm just kidding.
Screw it. I'm installing FreeBSD.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that one's known for security. Like that's the one you want to use if you want to be airtight. But I've never played with it. I have never felt the inclination. But I've known a few, people in the biz who've handled the FreeBSDs.
It's
Same.
all right. If security is your thing, you're gonna love it. Yeah, personally,
Characters are looking great, animated.
it
Thanks.
really is.
You're
Yeah.
coming along. I feel like my line work as of late has been a little bit rough because I was sick for a week and a half, and so I've had to build myself back up. But I'm getting there.
That's the neat thing I've noticed about line work is sometimes it just gets like even though you don't intend to make it better, it just gets better with practice.
Oh yeah.
So instead of what's in the box, it's what's in the bag.
What's in the bag is a bunch of candy because he went around and probably snatched it from the
Mm.
What
so he thinks that he
No,
won.
no. Her discerned look, they're like, oh my God, you've done all that work. And it's just like, it's toothbrushes, toothpaste,
Oh,
It probably is actually. That's a great idea.
almonds,
so many
And they're like,
almonds.
apples.
that's terrible. That stuff ruins your teeth. Toothpaste, I mean.
Yeah.
I actually don't brush with toothbrush.
Yeah, no, it's got
Just
fluoride in it. It's
I
garbage.
just stopped using it one day, and I was like, "Hey, I don't have to buy this. Friggin' saving my $5."
Get that charcoal toothpaste, right?
I can make charcoal.
One of the nice revelations, just whenever you're starting to draw, is like I think the natural instinct, if you don't know anything about drawing, is draw like in a hard straight like line, and the line ends up being a lot rougher. But when you learn the bare basics, you're like, hey, I can actually just do it like 100 like slight lines, and oh, there's a very clean line that just kind of emerges.
And then you get to inking, and then you're like, frick.
Yeah,
Line weights.
I'm
right?
still
Yeah.
learning my way around inking. There's a couple of tricks I'm slowly learning.
Mhm. It takes
that make
time.
it
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys made me eat.
The big
Inking's
thing
a-
I'm learning so far is that if you start out with like a small size pen, and then like over time you're just like increasing the actual width of the lines, like it makes it a lot cleaner looking, and it's more striking to the eye.
Here's a suggestion. If you want to get good at inking fast, clean up an entire short film by yourself.
Oh,
That'll teach you a lot. Let me tell
okay,
you.
that would make good practice.
Yeah,
That's fantastic practice.
I just started getting into rendering, and it's both digital and traditional, so I'm gonna be learning it from both angles. And one thing about line weights that's cool is how it can almost behave like shading without shading, like the the thicker line weights for the
Yes.
darker areas, and the
Yeah.
thinner line weights when the light's hitting it.
Especially on curved surfaces.
Yeah,
And to that point, what I'll say is this is what I always tell my students is stop thinking with lines, start thinking with light.
yeah,
Everything you do, no matter what it is, no matter if it's stylistic or not, you are effectively using light because we see the world in light.
hmm
And so that's why you do things like figure drawing, even if you're going to be a cartoonist, even if you're going to do anime, is because you need to understand those fundamentals in order to bring them into that environment where, okay, now you got to do it with 2 sticks and a piece of string, basically, right?
yeah. I'll keep that in mind. Like I've kind of been tiptoeing around rendering because I know it's an undertakings, but kind of like anatomy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to
Well,
it.
The other thing I highly recommend to anyone illustrating or doing art, like visual art in general, is take a painting as well. Just do a little painting on the side.
So,
It will help a lot.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of anatomy, here we go.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You know those 2 sticks and piece of string? Well, they ate the string and don't know what happened to the sticks.
Just stick out the window. Yeah.
God.
What the actual?
Oh my god.
It's like Kirby,
I
but a
hate
person.
this.
Oh, I didn't know.
I love
Do I
it.
need to
Who
call
did
a
this to
doctor
you,
or
Billy
something?
Bob?
Are you okay?
So anyways, they skipped anatomy that day.
Who needs anatomy?
Maybe that's what Japanese people really look like. How do you know? Maybe it's just
You may not
exact
like it, but this is peak
representation.
male.
Frederick, it's funny for you to assume Japanese people are real.
Well,
Didn't you
they're
forget
realer
you're in
than
the
pandas.
place?
I'll tell you that.
It was. What was the other? I think Anime Moon. I sent you the other one I found. I was like, oh, there's the art style of anime that I'm like, why?
See, I've seen Japanese in real life. That's the thing.
Yeah, but how do you know they were real?
Well, how do you know they weren't?
Because I know I'm in the system, man. That's how I know. But no,
I've seen some South Koreans as well.
that's right. And they've been beating the ever living shit out of the Westerners in video games right now.
That's
Aren't they always?
well, I'll tell you why the Japanese are real. Okay? Japanese are real because of this, man. These pens, you see, these would not exist if it wasn't for the Japanese people. If they were out there reproducing and stuff, they wouldn't be busy making pens.
Who needs
frequency
human
is
reproduction
eyes
when you
too
can
small.
make pens?
Frequency said the eyes are too small, guys. They need to be bigger.
Well, clearly.
Where?
3/4 of the face should be eyes,
3/4 of the face? Okay, here we go.
Zoom in, enhance.
You win and enhance. Let me see if I can do galaxy eyes 1 second.
Oh, don't ruin your drawing with that. No. No.
Oh my god.
Don't do it.
See, Wrangler, with the power of color.
No. All right, that needs to be what we draw the next art stream. It's just
You know what? It just
Fuck
kinda
anatomy.
looks like you're drawing big glasses on her at this point.
There you go. There's your
oh
What
my
was in that?
God.
Oh, somebody
That's the
took
fluoride,
anatomy.
man. That's the fluoride kicking in right there.
That's anatomy 101 right there.
That's kind of disturbing.
Wait, hold up. This isn't anime. You got the nose still.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot of American comics style right now, and like the eyebrows. You know, they have like the kind of like a bladed hook almost. They
Mhm.
drive me crazy. I'm not a big fan of them. So
No, that's why I don't do American comics.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't mind like the nose style and certain other aspects, but the eyebrows drive me crazy. So I'm definitely gonna when I have like more of my own style, I guess you could say, I'm gonna adjust that a little bit.
That's part
Yeah,
of
just
why.
right
in
now.
what?
We're developing it. That's the
Yeah.
key.
Hold up. In what?
Yeah.
In what?
Like American comics, like the way they draw eyebrows. It's just it's a little different. Let's see if I can
Speaking
find
of,
it.
Bring an example because I don't actually.
Yeah, I'll bring one. I'll look one up for you. And it's not that they look bad. They just I just am not a fan of drawing it.
Well, drawing eyebrows in general, at least starting out, I'm like, Jesus,
Yeah.
just a slight upturn or downturn, it completely changes their whole expression.
Yeah.
oh, same with the
Why
mouth.
does
Same with the mouth. You can have like a tiny little up, make it smile just a little bit with a twist at the end of the lips, and boop, that changes a lot of the expression.
a lot of I don't know. I've seen a lot in the Western smile. Usually, when they're smiling with their teeth showing, it looks weird. I don't know why.
I'm trying to find a good example here of someone who does it well. Let's see. Actually, I think one of the Barton brothers does it. Let me see.
Figure out the face for this frog.
Picked up something at the bookstore today. You guys want to see it?
What's that?
It's a mixture of American comics and European. In the Silver Surfer team up
Oh,
between Stan Lee
nice.
and Moebius.
yeah. It's very unique.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I gotta get my hands on some Mobius stuff.
There's a lot. There's a whole lot out there. It's small. It's tiny. It's kind of like your comic format,
Mm-hmm.
but hardcover. It's freaking great. The way he draws Galactus is
I love Galactus's expression there on the bottom left.
Yeah.
That's insanely good.
and you can barely see the amount of line. You can't
So
even
nice.
see the line work that's in there. It's so detailed.
Oh yeah, I know what I still need to read. It's good. It's Halloween, so the story will fit now, Frederick.
Halloween.
Yeah, hold up.
Dude, I'm so jealous of his ability to make things look like they've just been like beat down by war for like 100 years. Man.
That's cool.
It's dope, man.
Look at that.
Every time I look at Mobius's work, I'm like, frick, I need to do better.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm gonna have like a week's depression after seeing this.
So, Frederick, you remember that story you gave me?
Story I gave you?
Yeah, the one I still have to read.
Oh, the book, yeah.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, the story about the dead
gosh.
child and the little pixies that find her body and steal all her stuff.
What?
It's a fairy tale, you know.
Yeah, and they climb in her fucking head and stuff, you know.
Well, it's about this, group of tiny little, like almost Smurfs, the little fairies in the forest, and they're poor and they have nothing. But then the best day happens. They find a cadaver, and they got lots of stuff in her handbag, and they can pillage the cadaver for the whole book, pretty much. But we slowly figure out I think we know from the get-go that it's a dead girl.
Yeah, and I flipped through it a little bit, and I think the rat a light or something, and I guess they decided to kill the rat and fucking like skin it and wear it as a cloak.
See, I haven't read it all the way through. Oh, they got some extras in the back, dude.
Man, look at that.
Oh my
Yes.
That
god.
Punisher is great.
Yeah.
Her
That's-
eyebrows look like batarangs.
That thing is that thing is cool.
Yeah. Spider-Man is like so different than anybody else drew it. Wolverine as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the eyebrows I'm talking about there. That American 90s.
Oh
style.
yeah.
Those
So,
are batarang eyebrows.
I think they look great. They're just they're hard to like. I have a hard time drawing those for some reason.
Don't know. They don't feel real to me.
They,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't look like regular eyebrows. It's more the
No, they're definitely
the-
stylized for comics for sure.
yeah, it's the upturn for the top side that's where I can see it really throwing you off.
Yeah. It's pretty tough. I still struggle with them.
Yeah, I mean, even the eyes, like a big thick line for the eyelashes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Where's the bad example? That
I
you
think
want?
this is Clayton Barton, by the way.
Clayton
Where's
Barton.
the bad example? that you
Corey
want?
Barton's
Corey Barton.
brother. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's Clayton's. I know that's like with the How to Draw Comics Academy character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen
I
any
think
of
they
this.
both do eyes at the very. I don't know about eyebrows, but eyes they do very similarly.
Yeah, I think Corey's eyebrows are a little different, but yeah.
I think his are a little more angular that he goes for, but it works.
Yeah.
He it looks like he's drawing like femme fatales.
Yeah.
That one video where he's showing you how to draw women's bodies and stuff,
Yeah.
and he used Bulma, and the Bulma one he did was fucking
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit!
Oh, he makes it look effortless, like drawing these facial features, and I'm just like, and I can do the eyes and stuff pretty decent, but the eyebrows, I'm like, okay. I don't
So
know
what
about
was the
this.
bad example that you were wanting to show?
Oh, I don't have a bad example. Probably one of my drawings, but I'd have to find one.
Billy Bob has folders and folders of bad examples. He just wanted to add it to his collection.
But that's a good example. A bad example is anything that doesn't look like that.
Well, I mean, I can show you some bad examples. Hold on.
Oh, I gotta go, guys. So
Yeah.
Oh,
All
gosh.
right.
Dang
Oh,
it.
and
We're
signing
getting to
off.
that part of the stream, aren't we?
Oh, what was the one animated moon that you actually
Oh
recommend? or showed
gosh,
me?
I don't remember. I blocked it out of my memory.
It was the Wonder Woman one, or it was
Oh,
not
gosh,
Wonder Woman.
that's right.
And
Why
it
did you
was-
remind me of that?
It was so bad.
his reason for being animated moon, don't you
I
know?
know. I know.
I thought, Gotham High was terrible,
Which it is.
but that one I was like, it was worse than that one, which was
Somehow.
surprising because you have like Bruce Wayne with like a V puncture in his head in one panel for no reason, and the constant lazy on. What was it called?
Wait a second. There's an
knows?
anime version of Elvira? I didn't know this.
Yeah, I saw
Oh
that
yeah, I was
today.
just seeing that actually. I don't know if that's AI or if somebody actually made that. Either way, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the style actually fits.
I feel like I would have seen this before, so you might be right about the AI thing here.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today.
Yeah.
It looks. I'm willing to bet it's AI. It's just a really good AI model and generator.
Let me have a look at it again. I saw it on Twitter, but I didn't look closely.
Speaking of which,
Clearly, we all follow a lot of the same accounts. So
I realized today that Bing has a really good AI image generator. I'm like, holy shit! The hands and faces actually look really good.
Is that supposed to be the horror movie host? Someone to draw?
Elvira.
Yes.
It is
Elvira.
AI. It is AI. Look at the necklace on the left shot.
Oh,
This one. The one.
Yep,
The other one.
the other one.
The little pendant bell thing, whatever it is off center.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
thing that would be caught by an actual human artist.
Oh, actually,
Look
absolutely.
at the finger.
And
And
the biggest
right ab-
tell for me is the fact that Elvira's tits are way too small. A human
Yeah, they're way too small.
would.
Look
Hold
at that
up.
steering wheel too. Look at the steering
So
wheel.
they specified to put a mole on her tit as well. Really into that prompt, you know.
It's like in that prompt, it's like, okay, massive breasts, mole on tit. There we go.
Must be visible. But that steering wheel is a little janky too. Look at it.
yeah,
I don't see any steering wheels. What are you talking
And
about?
Yeah.
also the lettering. The lettering is just jibber jabber. It's not actually saying anything.
But her eyebrows.
actually a little low.
On which one?
On both of them, actually. The right
Yeah,
one.
she should have like
Right
higher up.
Yeah.
Well, it comes over a little.
Her head
far.
is gigantic, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiny
Funny.
face.
Speaking of which, I could probably show you guys a few
Small
of the
weight.
images that I generated earlier today.
Oh boy.
I
Oh
don't think
man.
this one's AI.
Oh,
I don't know. Look at the size of the hand
it
on the
looks
waves.
AI to me. For me, it's the lighting more than anything, how things are shaded. That looks like it's AI that's meant to imitate a certain era of anime, like 90s era anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so generically 90s that it didn't actually exist.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it.
All right, what are we sharing again?
All right. I'll go ahead and see if I can share it really quick. So this is, I was using the image generator this morning to create some images for some of the deities in this setting I've got going. And the fingers and the hands actually.
Ooh, that's
faces are
pretty
pretty close.
dope, man. Wow.
I feel like this is the guy you don't talk to in the bar.
Well, he's meant to be like a wretch god, so it kind of fits.
I know this
like,
guy. I see him downtown sometimes.
The god of drinking
needs-
yourself blackout drunk and
Yeah.
passing out in the gutter on the street.
The god
he-
of spare change. Yeah.
What he really needs is like hand cream.
Let me see if I can pull up another one. There was one I really, really liked. Oh yeah, it's this one. Let me share this. I think this one's my favorite.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Have I seen this one before?
I really love the composition for it. It's chaotic, but it strangely works. Like, I don't know how. Whenever I typed in Sea God, that looks like a kraken. It gave him like 6 arms, but the fingers are pretty consistent.
Like Shiva meets Goro meets Kraken, Cthulhu.
It reminds me of the Kraken from Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, it does actually.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even think of it.
the harpoons.
The bottom half, yeah.
I love that movie, by the way. The
Mhm.
Oh, it's a
original
fantastic
Clash of
movie.
Titans.
Oh yeah,
Good one.
I liked it too.
I hate the remake. Well, mostly hate the remake. There's a few parts I kind of like. The original Clash of the Titans, it's like it doesn't really advertise itself this way, but it's straight up like a Conan movie. It's full on like swords and sorcery.
Oh yeah. It is the last hurrah of the sword and sandal genre. I will say I didn't care for the remake either, but I actually think that Wrath of the Titans is pretty good.
Wrath of the
Yeah,
Titans
that's-
was better. It really
Yeah.
was.
I enjoyed it. A lot of CGI, but it's good. Good
Mhm.
story.
I kind of felt like they they got a little screwed on the budget on the second one.
Hmm.
Wrath of Titans.
I just like the fact that Kronos coming out of the mountain looks straight up like it's out of Age of Mythology.
Yeah, the remake movies feels like the director or the writer just played the God of War games and was like, yeah, let's make a movie about this. And then you
And it
basically
worked.
get the Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans movies. Because like the first
Actually,
movie,
making God of War a movie wouldn't actually be that bad.
that probably wouldn't actually. I just think the actual Clash of the Titans remake movie did it a lot worse than God of War did.
Yeah. There was an era in time where it was like, in movies, it was like, okay, we're doing vaguely sword and sandal without any of the charm, and we have to throw in a bald British dude. Call it a day. Because there was like there was a crappy Hercules movie like that. The Clash of the Titans remake was like that. I feel like there was another one.
They still use bald British dudes in everything, man.
Well, it's like it's not only that they all got to talk like Russell Crowe, and they that they have to be like strictly atheist.
Well, that's everything in Hollywood. I mean,
I'm like, okay, I would understand this if it was like a fantasy world of your own design, but this is like ancient times we're talking about, and so why is he talking like an American today?
Well, that's how you get when you can't get the British guy, you get Matthew McConaughey to shave his head like in Rain of Fire.
I ironically love that movie.
Yeah, me too.
Not a great movie, but it's fun. I just enjoy myself.
It's just flat out fun. Doesn't make any sense. And I just love how he dives off all epic to try to slay the dragon and just gets eaten.
Yeah.
What was the one that had I think Orlando Bloom, who's playing like Zeus, and then
what?
Oh, you mean Liam Neeson was playing Zeus?
No. It was Orlando Bloom playing Zeus, and Mickey Rourke was the main bad guy in the movie.
What?
I don't know, but I need to see this movie.
Wow. Yeah, that's something.
That is a thing.
I'm not bullshitting. This was a movie. It was he's the only one that can reproduce in his army, so he crushes all his men's balls.
Wait, what?
The fuck?
What kind of movie are you watching?
To be fair, who wouldn't do that in a position of absolute power?
Well, he's like the gods are ass, and I'm the only one who can repopulate the earth. So, the immortal. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. I think that might have been the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah, the immortals.
Oh my gosh, that's what happens in that movie? Orlando Bloom is freaking Zeus in that movie?
Oh, no, not Orlando Bloom. I'm sorry. Luke Evans.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Basically the same person.
So, you remember the 2015 Dracula movie, Dracula Untold?
Yeah.
He's the one playing Dracula is the one. I get them mixed up.
Henry Cavill's in that movie as Theseus.
Yes.
Mickey Rourke is King Hyperion. Stephen Dorff is in that movie? That's crazy.
Albeit he looks like discount fucking Henry Cavill in that movie.
It's starting to sound wild.
Have you not seen it, Frederick?
I don't think so. I mean,
2011
either.
I might have skipped it.
It's not like an amazing movie.
Doesn't sound like it.
Sounds like the best.
Oh, John Hurt was in it as the Zeus posing as the friendly neighborhood dude to his son Henry Cavill's character. Because he doesn't want him to know that he's a demigod.
Gotta keep that in the family.
I see.
And as any Zeus story starts out, a king said, "Fuck you, Zeus. You gods suck." And then Zeus morphed into the king and then banged his wife.
What'd you say, bitch? Yeah.
Easy story. And then the king said, "Oh man, I'm gonna throw you in the ocean."
JK.
Wait a minute, is that actually how that movie starts?
I don't remember.
Sounds like
because if that's the case, then it literally just ripped off freaking Clash of Titans.
Yeah.
Clash of the Titans. That's literally the intro, Clash of the Titans, even the original.
Isn't it all like Greek mythology?
Yeah, I mean it is.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who even Theseus is, to be honest with you.
So, but the rest of it isn't Clash of the Titans, is it?
The what?
The Immortal, or whatever it's called.
Mm.
The Immortal? No. It's got nothing to do with Clash of
Is
Titans.
he's not beheading a Medusa to petrify the Kraken, I don't think. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm willing to bet that much doesn't happen.
He's trying to get, like, his whole destiny is to get, like, the bow. I forgot the name of the bow.
Apollo's bow or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. He's getting that before Mickey Rourke's character's getting that, because Mickey Rourke's trying to kill the gods.
So, what stage of facial reconstruction is Mickey Rourke at in this movie? Is it young Mickey Rourke or
Well, it's 2011, so it's
the wrestler Mickey Rourke?
wrestler.
Okay.
He's Iron Man 2. Mickey
Okay.
Rourke.
Okay, so
I'll still sometimes like quote the line from Iron Man 2. I want my board. I distinctly remember that fucking line in that movie, of all things.
yeah.
I barely remember that movie. Like,
I've never seen it. I've only seen the first Iron Man.
You never seen Iron Man 2?
it's a mess.
It sounds
It's a
like
You're not
mess.
missing a lot.
I don't hate
I
it though.
still remember the marketing. And when did Iron Man 2 come out?
2011.
10, maybe? 10 or
It was
11?
like 2009, 10, somewhere around there.
Let
Maybe,
me look it up.
Iron Man was 2008, so probably...
yeah, maybe 2011.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna out my age here real quick.
Uh-oh.
Hold up, Iron Man 2. 2010, so I was 11 years old. When it came up, but I remember the marketing for the suitcase transformation scene on the
Oh, the Mach 2?
yeah,
Yeah.
the race car one. Being like, oh, it's so fucking cool. But when I got to the movie, I was so disappointed that Mickey Rourke's character builds his Iron Man suit, and then they have the big fight out with the other robots. He shows up and is immediately killed in less than fucking 3 minutes. They don't even really like fight Mickey Rourke in his like full out suit and shit. It's so disappointing.
I like the... Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they probably cut it short due to budget or something.
Yeah. I always liked the Iron Man bleeding edge armor. I don't know if they ever did that in MCU, but that was when he had like the nanoparticles in his body. He could basically summon the suit from under his skin.
They have
They did
something
that.
close to that. Is it in two actually? Right, it comes out of the
Was two?
suitcase. The suitcase turns in like just wraps around him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
guess
it's not nano.
It's not nano. You're correct.
Yeah, bleeding edge is like he has like nano technology like in his body that like he can
They
They
did
do
that
that?
for
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yeah,
that's what
they
they did. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
I
why I
didn't
don't
really
remember.
like it, to be honest with you.
it wasn't
Yeah.
super.
It
well,
wasn't
'cause you-
quite as cool.
yeah, it feels really CGI. You're just like, okay, this actor is like walking and he's like acting all cool.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, CGI guys, make me look cool. You
In
know,
the comics, it's pretty cool, but yeah, in the movie,
yeah,
I can
Well,
imagine.
that was the thing. What made the suit so cool in the earlier movies was that there's actual like you can tell the actual like real world engineering that went behind
Sure,
that. Like they had
yeah.
to
Tech
think
artists went
how the
frickin'
suit like
hard
wrapped
on
around
this.
them, how you'd have to move, everything like that.
and there's actual physical suit in shots, right? There,
Yeah, no, he was actually wearing it.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like it, because at this point in the movies, they're all just wearing like CGI suits to imprint the outfit on it, not actually wearing the suits.
well, I think Bleeding Edge came into the picture to give him up an edge when it comes to some of the more intergalactic villains. So I think it was like out of necessity more than anything else, but because it kind of gave him more control over it, like kind of how maybe like Venom has control. You know, or it can Carnage can make weapons and things like that. It was sort of the same
Dude,
idea.
Carnage was fucking dope.
But I don't think he really made weapons or
Not
anything.
not in the movies, but in the comics, I'm pretty sure he can like make
Yes.
big cannons and stuff. Like,
Well, he made
Yeah.
blades. I don't know if he made cannons, but
Nope.
he had blades all the time.
well, I mean Iron Man. With
Oh,
Bleeding Edge
that's
suit,
what-
he could make like big cannons and to like
Oh,
Fight.
of course.
yeah something
Yeah.
like that.
Carnage was like using his suit to make blades and
Yeah, Carnage is cool.
oh man, He could be a real villain if done
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
Because he makes Venom look like reasonable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
If I remember right, what was it Separation Anxiety was the plot line or something like that, where it was all the different symbiotes. But
I
they
have no. Oh, what were you gonna say? I don't know where you were going with that.
The Maximum Carnage Nintendo games were a lot of fun, but I remember that was like
NES,
a comic.
NES.
Yeah, wasn't that like a comic event too? Separation
Yes.
Anxiety. Yeah,
I don't know if Separation Anxiety is the name because
that was the
Carnage.
game.
Carnage
yeah.
was basically he's a one shot while Eddie Brock was in prison. He
Mhm.
created the Carnage suit, which went on to Eddie Brock's cellmate, basically, which is totally
Right.
the psychopathic killer, basically. But then there's also they never stopped making symbiotes after that because they were like printing money. But like anyone who prints money, you just lower the value the more you do it. So they started like
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
feeling
You got
really
that
corny.
Spider-Man PS1 game where the end of it's Carnage fucking merging with Doc Ock.
Oh yeah, no, that game was freaking awesome. Actually, I almost beat that on the N64, but I got to the elevator part, which is like notorious for being like stupidly difficult, and I never got past it.
I don't even think I got past the first fucking level when I was a kid.
No, it's an awesome game if you get into it. Like for a little bit, it's a little bit annoying, but like after the first fight with Venom, it's fantastic.
Take that back. Actually, I did get to the end. I just never finished the game. I got to the Doc Ock Carnage
Oh,
part.
really? Wow.
Because I
Yeah, I
remember
re-
seeing that and being like, holy shit, who's this? Why is he red? Like Venom? Oh, he's a dude named Carnage.
I remember Maximum Carnage. It had the sweet like red game case for the Super Nintendo, the red
Mhm.
cartridge, and then yeah, you could play as Venom or you could play as Spider-Man in that one.
It is still astonishing that game was made by
Yeah,
LJN of all people.
Yeah, because they fucked up every single game, didn't they?
Every single one except for that one.
yeah.
It's
Really?
actually a good game. Yeah, like it's not an amazing game, but it's a
What-
fun beat 'em
No,
up.
as you get
what's-
towards the end, you can start summoning like Captain America and like Spectre and all these different
What
characters.
system was it on?
Super
uh,
Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Yeah.
I gotta play that on an emulator.
Oh, it's worth it. It still holds up. It's a fun little beat 'em up.
So here's the Doc Ock Carnage one.
That's corny.
You damn right. Tony.
Oh my god.
Damn right. That Carnage. Look at
You're
that.
damn right, boy. It's corny. That's the way we like our carnage around here.
Let me, yeah. Let me
I
see
just
if I can
remember this
find the.
because I was like a little kid. I
No,
saw
I
this shit.
know it's
What the fuck?
no, I get it. I get it. It's funny. I'm just playing around.
Unacceptable, Billy.
Listen, I just remember it being like, listen, this is what a Insomniac doesn't have the balls to do. Like shit like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, they made Mary Jane into, a dude.
I'm gonna have to try that game out now.
Let me see if I
What
can
the-
find a good.
It's an old game. I just also remember the city, so they hide the city with the fucking yellow clouds. At the
Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't render the whole city, so they just had you up on the rooftops.
bottom. You
That
should
was
not
genuinely,
get-
actually kind of a game ahead of its time in a lot of ways because you could like climb on the walls and whatnot. It was like,
Yeah. Here you go.
When did it come out?
That's the Maximum Carnage. Yeah.
Let me see.
So much cooler.
Yeah. That's Mark Bagley.
Yeah.
Yeah, he picked up after Eric Larson, I
Mm.
believe, on Amazing.
Nice.
Because Todd McFarlane had a run. Then he left
Yeah.
to do Spider-Man. I think it was passed between a couple. And then Mark Bagley picked it up and did a long run, I think. I think he's still working for Marvel.
Wow.
Probably not making anything.
I mean, I've learned a lot copying Mark Bagley's stuff. He's never been one of my favorites though. Like he's probably, this is going to sound mean. I don't want it to be, but I bet he was like really good at doing all the deadlines because Amazing Spider-Man is like the main book. You don't want it to be late ever.
Yeah.
And I think Mark had a like simple enough style and it looked really good as well that he was able to, but I think one of the things I didn't like as much about his art was all the dudes tended to look the same. Like a lot of the ladies and dudes had the same drawing.
No, he's not the guy. I'm probably thinking of someone else, but there was an artist who was kind of in the same boat where he was known for being super fast. So he was like the guy to go to if you needed like a page done yesterday. But he would do everything with the same size pen. So everything had the same line weight. But I think he was 80s because he worked with Jack Kirby. And so a lot of people kind of like resent him because he would work on Jack Kirby's penciling and do all the same line weight.
You gotta know your stuff to work on Jack. Yeah, Jack Kirby's penciling. Jeez.
Yeah. So he's kind of a controversial figure in that way, but he was. I mean, his method was effective, at least as far as like getting it out the door.
Be right back.
Yeah, the 90s were a pretty crazy time for comics.
Yes.
Oh man, dude, it was like the money was flowing.
Yeah,
and then it wasn't.
And then it wasn't. Yeah, the variants were
the
flowing
crash.
too. Yep.
Yeah, I tried to break in at the and then it wasn't part, which didn't work out.
Funniest thing is I didn't know a thing about it when I was like 10 or 11, and one of my first comics was a first edition copy of Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and I went,
heck yeah.
nice.
I went, man, I bet you anything this is worth something.
No, it's not because a bunch of collectors thought the same thing at the
Number
same
one.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially Valiant, they would buy multiple copies and stock it. It was never meant to be read; it was meant to be sold later. And the problem is they met the demand, and no one else wanted. The demand was already met. There was no more demand and there was way more comics out there flowing, so it kills the price.
Yeah.
The reason why people started collecting is because they saw how much the old stuff like Amazing Fantasy number 15 would go for. But that's because it was very different back then. People were not collecting.
It was not cool to read comics.
You didn't know it was going to be worth more.
You threw it out after you read it.
Well, your mom threw it out when she cleaned out your room.
It's like a newspaper, basically.
Yeah,
it was
10 cents.
Yeah.
It started like it was on newsprint as well, so it was the same thing. Yeah. So and Spider-Man became this huge hit, so the demand was through the roof. The offers were clearly very limited, so that made the price boom.
Yep.
And people didn't think of those dynamics in the 90s, and everyone was like, oh, it's a number one, it's going to be worth someday. So everyone bought number ones of everything, and people just kept producing number ones because that's all people would buy.
And that's why you
That's
you still get lots of reboots for the same reason, I think. And I think I would argue that first appearances are kind of the new number ones. Like everything's a first appearance now.
They always have been. I mean,
Yeah.
Amazing Fantasy wasn't a number one, as a number 15, right?
Yeah.
It was the last of the series.
So you'll get the first appearance of this character, and it's like, nobody cares about this character, It's not
Carnage.
worth
I have
anything.
2 copies of the Carnage first appearance. One got water damage, but it's a great reading copy.
Oh, that's cool.
But I have another copy that's intact, so I think it's sold at my shop for $300 Canadian.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
So I'm gonna hang on to it. I think it might be worth something someday.
I had a first appearance of Red Sonja from the Marvel years that goes for a decent amount now, which is kind of funny because it really didn't go for a lot at the time, which is why I was able to get it, But A lot of those
Markets
Conan
change.
comics, they're really starting to get those. The number one has always been sought after.
Yeah,
But-
markets can always change as well.
Mm-hmm. Elric is actually in the Marvel Conan series. I think it's like issue 14 or something like that.
Did I
But
show you
That
this?
just surprised me, especially with all the crossovers.
Yeah.
I know I talk about Fawford and Grey Mouser a lot. They
Mhm.
apparently they had like a crossover with Wonder Woman for a comic or something.
Yeah.
It was a very forgettable comic, like really forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
By the end, it's just like I think Fawford and the Mauser get transported to like New York, like modern day New York. They're like, "What ho, Mauser? Let's just go exploring." They're about to explore, and then they immediately get zapped back to their own world.
Can you
One of
show
my-
my
That's
camera for a second?
that's cool.
Bob?
I think Billy's.
Oh, she's away. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you're gonna have to see that. Look,
unfortunately.
see, this is the size of my original art.
Oh, there we go.
This
Nice.
is the Elric, and this is number 5, the Necromantion.
Whoa! I don't think I've ever seen that book before. That's really cool.
No, this is French, and they only did the number 5 in this format.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
So it's basically
I
black and
don't
white.
have number 5.
Whoa! Look at that art.
Yeah, but it's number 5 of a French series, Otter. Or did
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got parts 1 through 4 of the Elric.
They went
DVD
back and
book.
redid what was it, 1 and 2 in that format, but for U.S. release, I think. But I've never seen this one. This is
Look at
wild.
that sword, man. That looks like a
Whoa.
berserk sword.
Friggin' Buster
Yeah.
Sword, dude.
That's-
I
Nice,
love
dude.
reading through like the novellas. Like I've read through Elric and Melniboné a couple of times, and I'm like, man, this is a fun book.
Yeah.
I read the BD, I'm like, man, there's a lot of tits in this.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Like all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. They're
More.
very different attitude about, especially breasts. It's not. I mean, in France, you used to be able to go like topless for women at the
Mhm.
beach. It was very normal, so it's part of daily life. It's just understood. I mean, I don't think it's the same way now because
Yeah, my wife lived in Nice for a little while when she was going
Yeah.
to school.
Brice de Nice. Do you know Brice de Nice?
Mm,
It's a popular film. It's like
Now
it's like a surfer guy who wants to be American, and he wants to be a surfer, and he's like searching for the perfect wave in Nice, but there's no waves there.
no, I'll have to check it out though.
It's hilarious, man. Let me see if I can find the trailer.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see it now. Oh, okay. 2005.
It's the same actor who did the silent film. What was it called? The one that won a bunch of Oscars that year.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I forget the title.
100 best French movies about surfing. I didn't realize there was that many.
Wow,
cool.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
But that one shows up number 2. Nice.
It's hilarious. I
I
mean,
gotta check it out.
it's probably like, even if you don't understand French, you'll probably laugh because it's just great physical humor a lot as well. There you go.
Was that an achievement?
Thanks.
I'm willing to bet it was Billy.
What now?
There was an achievement song
Xbox.
going on.
Oh,
It was a notification on my phone.
Oh, I see.
was this
Oh,
the
right.
first time you got a notification on your phone, so you got an achievement? Or
That's right.
You have friends now.
phone company has sent you the bill. Congratulations. I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Let's see.
I think when he gets back, I think we're fixing to wrap this up.
That
Alright.
sounds good.
Yeah, fair enough.
I hope I can get this done by Halloween. That was my goal. We'll see though, because I still need to do like the background with like the houses and the street, and whatnot. Then color it and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's looking good.
It is coming along. It took me forever to figure out what character to have Rem dress up as. Couldn't figure it out. Man, I have so many illustrations I need to get to. I haven't even started animating. I was planning on doing some animation last month, and I didn't get through the set design for the environment in Blender.
And that just seems
So-
like it takes even more time and dedication to animate. Than,
Oh yeah,
would you say it's definitely more intensive than just the drawing?
animating. Oh yeah, I mean it's everything times
Yeah.
1,000, right? Like
makes sense,
it's to give you an idea. When I was working on my last short film, The Blind King, it took me a month and a half or a month and a week just to do the rough animation, and 2 solid months of like averaging 8-hour days or 6-hour days.
Wow.
Right around, to do the cleanup alone, just the cleanup. Cleanup itself is like the really tedious part for this style of like traditional animation. There's a reason why we outsource we outsource
A
animation as well,
Yeah.
but we definitely outsource cleanup and whatnot, because that just takes so stinking long.
Wow.
Funny enough, when I was starting to get into animation, I was like, I don't ever see myself being a cleanup artist, because kind of one thing that's kind of funny about me is my hands are like super shaky.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, but I wound up, my first job was a cleanup gig, and I actually ended up really enjoying it. It really sucks that we outsourced like every single cleanup job, because it used to be back in the day, like you started on cleanup. You would go in, and if you wanted to work for like a studio like Filmation or Disney or whoever, right? Back in the day, you started in cleanup and then you got better, right? And now they don't have that. They expect you to go out to university and
What is
learn stuff or something.
what
I
is
don't know.
exactly cleanup? You like finish the drawings or the
Yeah.
poses?
So
Do-
you can think of it like inking.
okay.
Basically, yeah. So basically, you have the rough animator
okay.
do their stuff, and it's very pencil-y and stuff like that. But then they do
Motion is
what's
there
called
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But then they do tie down, because basically cleanup artists, their responsibility is not to put the character on model. If a rough animator handed me frames that were too rough, I would say tie them down. Do not hand them back to me until they're done, because it would take me way too freaking long to put it on model. That is like the number one thing that cleanup animators hate, is when rough animators don't put their stuff on model. And so, but if it's on model and it's all good to go, then yeah, the cleanup artist takes it and does the final line work, all the right line weight, makes it look really clean, makes basically double passes to make sure it is on model, small little things, and then technically hands it off the color, but nowadays cleanup is usually kind of pushed together with color. And truth be told, depending on the program that you're using, color can be like super fast. It took me 2 months to do cleanup for my short film. It took me 3 days to do the color.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
So who do we outsource to? Like Korea, Brazil? Those are some
Mostly
names.
Korea. I don't know about South America, actually. That's a good... I don't think South America primarily, although the animation scene in South America is cropping up more and more, which is
I
actually
hear
really cool.
a lot of comic artists coming from there.
Yeah, they actually have a very like storied history of like comic art and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But mostly it's a lot of times South Korea, sometimes Japan, although Japan is actually outsourcing to us and the rest of the world nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of China, the Philippines, a lot of outsourcing to the Philippines, Technically, if the chain of subcontracting goes far enough, North Korea, that's actually happened.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of like I couldn't believe
Kinda
it.
wild.
Like it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about what was it?
What was it? An Italian studio that was hired by Amazon hired an Italian studio, and the
It
Italian
wasn't
studio.
Amazon. There was a thing coming out that this is a while back from the leaks that Amazon was hiring North Korea for the animations on like the Invincibles and their other anime
Mhm.
shows.
Because they work
But-
for peanuts up there, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, all of them do. China, Japan, South Korea.
No, but I mean,
It's really
North
bad.
Korea is literally peanuts because they need to
So,
eat.
Right.
Yeah.
so if I'm remembering correctly, there was an Italian studio or French. Can't remember which one. That got caught and are getting fined by the Treasury in America because they were getting money and they're not allowed to, or they're getting government grants or whatever the fuck it was, and they're not allowed to do the stuff with outsourcing and giving money to North Korea. That's what they were getting caught with. So now, like the thing with Amazon, it's like, oh, so the thing with Amazon was probably true as well.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if South America was definitely coming up, like you were saying, with the history there. Plus, they're gigantic Dragon Ball Z and like Saint Seiya down there too. So
And
Yeah,
where?
that is in South America, Mexico, and
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty much
Mexico.
anywhere. really.
Brazil,
like-
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexico's like if they want to go back in time, steal Akira as a child, maybe bring him to Mexico
And
so
say that they made it. Yeah.
There's
Maybe.
actually there's a really good Argentinian series that was on Netflix called Kirlian Frequency. I might have mentioned it before. I highly recommend that, especially now that's
What's it
close to
called?
Halloween. It's called Kirlian Frequency.
Okay.
It's really like minimalist animation.
Oh, Kirlian, like the photographs that show the auras and stuff.
Whoa, this looks cool.
I don't know. Is that what it's referencing?
Yeah, Kirlian photography was people taking pictures and showing either ghosts or auras,
Yeah.
some
Okay.
paranormal activity.
Well, then that's very fitting because that's kind of what it's about. Is basically it's a radio broadcast. It's a radio show in a town that isn't on any maps, and it just kind of it's the goings ons and
I love
this
stuff
kind
like
of
that.
paranormal
Yeah,
town.
that's cool. Good premise.
There's technically more episodes, but they're not on Netflix, and unfortunately, they're only in Spanish, and my Spanish isn't good enough to watch it. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
We
I
need
think we're
to. We all need Spanish lessons, I think.
Yeah.
I genuinely need to brush up on my Spanish. It would really help for like work and stuff like that.
So next week, Art Chill, we're going to be doing it in Spanish. So
Espanol.
everybody get your
Yeah, I'm down.
Duolingo out. We're going to be watching the next movie in Espanol.
I wonder if there is a dub of.
there probably is.
There
Spanish.
is.
There probably is.
I mean, at least there's a subtitle for sure.
Oh yeah. Actually, funny enough that we mentioned that dubbing comes up in reference to that movie, because one thing that's really unique about it is it's one of the first films to do like multi-track dubbing. So like characters will actually like talk over each other. And so it actually has very natural dialogue, like a
Whoa.
lot more than a lot of films from that era.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Frederick, why don't you start us off?
Well, my name is Frederick, and I'm a French Canadian, but we say Québécois. And I think I just finished inking my 11th page of Rattel right here. I think minus one or two details, it's pretty close to done. And if you want to follow the project of Rattel, come to rattelcomic.com. You'll see samples. I just put up the 4th page in color yesterday, so you can check that out. And you can also see the progress I'm making, as well as links to my socials, my X account, my Noster account, and we stream art streams every week on Tuesdays. It's called Proof of Comics. Tuesdays art streams. Follow us. You'll find pretty much the same crew here. And That's pretty much it.
Nice. Animated Moon.
You can find me over on my YouTube channel where I stream every Tuesday and Thursday from usually around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to whenever I feel like I can get done. That's over on the Animated Moon over on YouTube, as well as I do post occasionally over on X, as well as Kara, all under the same handle. Unfortunately, my website is still down, so I'll need to get on top of that so that people can actually have a place to go read my comic, The Blind King. Chapters 1 and 2 and all of what's done with Chapter 3 are all posted on my social medias, though, so if you hunt it down, you can read it all.
Nice. Tinkage.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube under Tenkage or over on X under Tenkage HQ. Yeah, I got a project I'm going to kick off in 2025, so I should have some more details on that soon.
Nice. Otter.
Well, you can find my first book, The Curse of the Star Raids, a swords and sorcery adventure with brotherhood and a rather interesting world of high magic, high adventure, and athletic tits. You can find all of that on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the big retailers. I am also on YouTube. I also have a Substack. And yeah, I'm usually also shitposting on Twitter and X. So that's usually me.
See you later, Frequency.
See you, Wrangler.
Later, Wrangler.
Gotcha.
All righty. Well, this was fun. And
The Blob.
Kaplaw.
Kablaw.
Up next is The Thing from Another World.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.